Is it time?
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day.
We'll know in a very short period of time, but it looks like it could be something that will be not good. Believe me, not good.
I see issue with that. And again, hey.
You're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency. That's not going to happen.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Hello, dissidents. Welcome back. Welcome back to a Monday evening DNC edition of the Do Dissidents podcast. My name is Keaton Weiss, here with Russell Dobbular, of course.
Hello.
We are one half live from Chicago, one half live from upstate New York. But we are both here. We put in a full day, Russ, a fuller day than I, out in the field with some great friends of ours. We had just about, everyone we could have expected on our stream this afternoon. Almost everybody, not quite everybody. Max Blumenthal's still not here, but other than Max, we ran into Nick Cruz, ran into Rome, Kit, Jimmy, Shama Sawan. What a stream that was. That was a Rumble exclusive earlier, and what a time it was out there.
Yeah, that was, yes, except for Gray Zone, we ran into all the people we wanted to meet that we've been working with for years.
Yes.
Without ever physically being in the same place. And I'm going to tell you something. People never look like they look in this medium.
Right.
They really don't. There's they look kind of like that, but they don't really look like that.
Right. In 3D, everybody looks a little different.
Everyone looks a little different in 3D. But yeah, that was very, very cool. That was very cool. The only disappointment was, supposedly Vanguard's around. Me and Nick were running around. We're going to fuck them up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. They ducked us. They ducked us,
man.
Yeah.
I think that's why they weren't there. They must have heard.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, they are around. They've been posting some stuff. There's a lot going on. I mean, there is a ton going on in Chicago now.
There is. At the same time, there was an event with Stein and Cornell. I didn't even know about that until I was there.
Which one? You mean the one? You mean the one that Jordan did earlier today, or another one?
The one that Jordan, also known as Jordan the Peacemaker.
Yes.
A lot of people are saying he's bringing them together like he does.
Well, yeah,
and they're going to have.
He's all positive vibes. That guy.
He is all positive vibes. Supposedly, he's working on the libretto for an opera they're going to do. It's going to be called Infiltrated, and it's going to be about the way radical movements are subverted by infiltrators.
Yeah, there you go. That'll be fun. Hey, folks, we got Kit Cabello in the chat right now. We are going to be doing a Patreon stream with Kit tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. The Great Pizza Summit, the long-awaited Pizza Summit, will be streamed exclusively for paid members. So sign up at Patreon, Substack, or Locals so you don't miss that.
Apparently, they have settled. The Chicagoans have settled for their champion on a pizza from a place called Luminati's.
It's something else.
Luminelli's.
Malnati's, something like that.
No, it's the name. It's a name of a person. Kit, type it in the chat. Because I keep forgetting what the name. I think I'm mixing it up with the Illuminati.
Yes, you are. Illuminati's, yeah.
I mean, that would be a pretty funny name for a pizzeria.
Yeah.
And you put like a big eye with a triangle on the front.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kit check. They do deliver what? Okay, somebody said, see, already they're. So you guys are like New Yorkers. You're already fighting amongst yourselves. Pequods is better.
Yeah. There you go.
That's the other one I've heard suggested. All right, so what's the name of this place?
Yeah, Malnati's. That's what it is. That's what I think it is.
Malnati's.
Malnati's, yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, I mean, it is kind of like the Illuminati.
Yeah, it does sound like
Malnati's, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound like it.
I mean, that is what Kit is offering as his champion. He's putting that forward as the Chicago rep.
Well, you got to go with it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey man, we are in Kit's hands. We're in his town.
That's right. Got to trust what he says. What he says. We are deferring to Mr. Cabello. All right, there's somebody talking here. I don't know who she is. We're going to get to some of the speakers soon, folks. We're just going to be kind of watching along. Obviously, super chats will be super heckles. Same thing goes for Rumble Rants, so send those if you got those. Those help tremendously, especially for these marathon weeks. It has been a day. We are only 1/4 of the way through after this stream tonight. So we folks were out in Union Park, or I should say Russell was out in Union Park, and Russell got some footage of some protesters before our live stream started. We did a live stream starting at 12:45 Eastern, 11:45 Central. But before the live stream started, he went around and got some interviews, and this one went up on Twitter already. It's a really good one. We were really happy with this one. This is a Muslim activist woman who was holding a sign, "Don't be walls pilled." Don't be walls pilled, which was a very, very clever sign and spoke to a lot of what we've been talking about in the past few days on the show here. So let's take a look at this while we're waiting for the speakers.
Hey, Russell Dobula from Due Dissidents. Can I ask you a couple of questions? All right, so what brought you out here today?
I'm here to send a clear message to the Democratic Party and the Democratic candidates for office this fall that the people will no longer support unconditional aiding and abetting of genocide, and we stand for a complete arms embargo on Israel, sanctions, end of U.S. aid to Israel, and a permanent and immediate ceasefire.
Now, what do you say to people who say, well, you're going to get Trump elected?
Oh, God. I have a lot of things to say. Okay, well, the first thing is I want to say that that's a form of emotional blackmail. This is the rhetoric of abusers, right? That we say, oh, well, you don't like one thing? Well, what are you going to think of the other guy, right? And I think that this is an unsustainable system, and I'm actually looking out for the sustainability of our country in years to come. Because if we continue to tell ourselves that we're stuck between the healthier of Pepsi and Coke, we will only have the healthier between Pepsi and Coke. But if we don't threaten a vote, if we don't say no arms embargo, no vote, no sanctions, no vote, right? We will never be able to leverage any real political accountability. And we've seen materially, we've seen the effects of this only in just a few months. I mean, Governor Walz got up right after the Minnesota primaries on CNN, and he said openly, that was the first time he said the situation in Gaza is intolerable. He hadn't said a word about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and what prompted him to do so was that 1 in 5 Minnesota Democrats voted uncommitted, right? Because of a 1-week grassroots movement to get people to vote uncommitted. Now think about how far we will go if we can leverage more civic momentum, if it's not just a 1-week-long movement in which voters across the board are rising up and saying, we will no longer vote for this just because it's better than the other guy. That is not going to be our standard anymore. And when we tell ourselves that that is our standard, we will only be stuck in this bind between two options. And in years and years to come, our children and grandchildren will be told that they have to vote Democrat. They will have to vote for unconditional Zionism just because it's not as Zionist as the other guy. Slaughter, but better slaughter. Slaughter, but more effective slaughter.
So what do you think? A lot of progressives who claimed they weren't going to vote for Joe Biden, and they were kind of making noises about not voting for Kamala because of Palestine, because of Gaza. As soon as she picked Walz, they started talking about his domestic policies in Minnesota. And my partner at Due Dissidents has often made the point, once again, the Palestinian people are being sold out for a free lunch. Do you feel that way about the way have you seen a lot of progressives change their minds when she picked Walz, and how do you feel about that?
Yes, I've seen a lot of progressives do that, and to that I would say this is short-sightedness, and actually this is blindness. This is clear blindness towards Walz's history of policies towards Israel and towards the Palestinian people and his Palestinian constituents. So I am from the state of Minnesota, actually, and I am a leader in the Minnesota community, and I was actually just part of a delegation of Minnesota Palestinian families that had a meeting canceled on the spot with literally 2 minutes before it was supposed to happen, as we were seated in the room, after 10 months of Walz refusing to meet with Palestinian constituents. But on the flip side, he right away rushed to synagogues and stand with Israel rallies right after October 7th. So I'm a living proof of how Walz treats his Palestinian constituents, and that is that he turns a blind eye to them. He doesn't treat them with respect at all, right? He treats them as subhuman, yeah? But also, if you look at it materially, Walz sits on the Minnesota State Board of Investments, which invests over $157 million in Israeli companies, and that's just Israeli companies, 157 million, of state pensions in Israeli companies. That doesn't include, by the way, weapons manufacturers like Lockheed Martin, like Boeing, like security companies like Elbit, etc., that are also complicit in violence against the people of Gaza. So he is investing Minnesota money in the military-industrial complex. He is also funded a $1.3 million Minnesota state taxpayer subsidized grant. It's funded by Minnesota taxpayer money, a grant to construct a Lockheed Martin facility in St. Paul, Minnesota. And he called that good news for Minnesota. He has a history of being a friend to war, a friend of slaughter of the Palestinian people, and we ought to not turn a blind eye to it.
So you don't feel the free school lunches are enough to turn a blind eye to it?
As long as there are no schools standing left in Gaza, I don't think free school lunches matter.
right, thank you very much. What's your name? Are you with an organization?
Sana Wazwaz, spelled SANAWAZWAZ, and I'm from American Muslims for Palestine, Minnesota.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, so I have some bad news for you folks. That is the best speech you're going to hear all night. It's only going to get worse from there.
She was awesome. That was why I wanted to get her info, because I would like to have her on at some point in the future.
Yeah, no, she was great. She was great.
She was right there, full command of facts. I never heard that about Waltz in Minnesota and his policies and the investments of the government there. I've never heard anyone talk about that.
I mean, so much of this goes unspoken about. That's the thing. Like, you don't even this was just like support for Israel was such a given in American politics for so long that it just went under the radar with so many politicians. Like even Bernie, we didn't really bother looking into that 2016 campaign, 2020 campaign.
I've been getting into this a lot today. I got into this with the RBN guys when we ran into them. The people usually coming out of the Marxist-Leninist background, they always make the point that the Social Democrats, in the end, will always throw overboard the people who are being exploited in order to fund their dreams, in order to fund their projects.
Right.
I don't think there's ever been a more stark example of that than people flipping on a dime to support Kamala Harris of all fucking people because she picked Tim Walz, who has some moderately bare minimum progressive economic policies in his state. And that's all it took.
Right.
That's all it took. Yeah. You've been watching these people get fucking slaughtered since October. And school lunches, that's it. Tampons in the bathroom. That was enough for you. That's all it took for you.
Right.
And she said it very well. School lunches don't matter when there are no schools in Gaza.
Right.
But it does to them.
Of course.
Cenk Uygur, hey man, I'll give him some credit. He came right out and said it. He said, I'm under no illusion that they're going to change policy on Israel.
That's right.
Okay. Hey, at least he's not even pretending like Emma Vigeland is pretending that she thinks there's going to be some kind of course change. She's stupid, but she's not that stupid. She knows better than that. Cenk's just saying it straight out. Yep. No, they made a very tiny gesture by not going with the IDF goon, which probably had more to do with the fact that he had a bad interview with Kamala that left a bad taste in her mouth. He came, according to people who were there, he came across as overly ambitious. He was kind of interviewing her. Well, so what would my duties be? And from everything we know about her from behind the scenes, she doesn't seem like somebody who would take that well. Whereas Waltz was like, well, what do you want me to do? I'll do that if you want me to do it. That seems like the kind of toady that would appeal to Kamala. So they didn't even not go with him for ideological reasons. She just didn't like him.
Yeah, that could very well be. I mean, Walz seems like fairly easygoing. It seems like a fairly easy guy to work with. Seems like a guy who would, like a vice president would do, follow orders, go where you tell him. He definitely has more of that Midwestern appeal than Shapiro does.
But these
Shapiro.
Things she's saying about how he's governed, these are things I haven't even seen from left media, and she sounds like she knows what she's talking about. So it's something I'd like to look into more. I'm just not sure where to go for the sourcing. I got her name, like there on camera.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it's
maybe
true.
we can run her down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's true. I mean, I have no doubt about it.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I would like to do a segment about it.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, these things just go unspoken about for so long because it was just such a given. Like nobody even thought to scrutinize the Israel policies of various politicians, even Democratic politicians. I mean, we kind of knew vaguely 2016, 2020 that, Bernie was better on this than most, but we didn't really know what his policies were. We didn't really know what his views were. We couldn't really tell you, and so, those things kind of go unnoticed for a long time until circumstances are such that they can't go unnoticed anymore. And that's obviously where we are now. And especially when you talk to, activists who traveled from far and wide to get to Chicago. I mean, you are talking about the most committed of the committed ceasefire activists who are the most likely to know the ins and outs of what they're talking about. If they weren't knowledgeable, they wouldn't have a passion. If they didn't have a passion, they wouldn't be there.
Right.
Yeah.
That was, I was very impressed with the people who were there. You could even see it. We talked about it during the stream. The signs were very well thought out. There was a lot of creativity there.
Yes.
You had, some of the older folks might remember them. They went inactive a long time ago, I think. Or at the very least, they stopped doing their annual festival. There was a group called Bread and Puppet. When you see those films of protest marches in the 60s and you see the giant puppets, those were almost always made by Bread and Puppet back then. There's a European tradition of using puppetry for political commentary in that way and making giant puppets for these kinds of protest parades. And I think his name was Peter Schumann. He brought it here to the United States. He had almost like an arts commune up in Vermont. And I went one year. They had a big festival every year where people would sleep up there, the Resurrection Circus. One year, somebody was killed in an altercation. And then what I think was an overreaction, they shut it down. They never did it again. I mean, one person got killed. They had been doing this for years and years. Shit happens, but they never did it again. I don't even know if they exist anymore. So seeing people referencing that kind of tradition of the puppets being used in that way, that was very cool.
Yes. And there were more than a few there. I mean, there was more than just like one group of people.
No, there were a few
actually
people
a handful
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and doing it very well.
Yes. Eric Rousseau is a member for 12 months. Happy memberversary, Eric Rousseau. Saw Jimmy Dore show video. Looks like Keaton got himself a mobile virtual presence device like Sheldon Cooper. Well, that's Russ's setup there. I was just coming on the StreamYard. I was coming through on that, so I saw a little bit of that because I noticed Jimmy was streaming at the same time we were. So I saw your setup because I don't even know what Russell's setup is, but I did see it in the Jimmy clip in the Jimmy stream. So yeah, it looks like it looks like it worked pretty well today. The data is what it is. I mean, if it gets really crowded, the data gets crowded in the area. The good news is we're in a major city, so there is a kind of infrastructure. Like I've been to small, when I used to work craft shows, if it was a busy craft show in a small rural Vermont town, the cell phone signal would be out the whole weekend because there would just be a ton of people in this very small area. But luckily, we are in Chicago, and we made it through. JM, thanks for the $2 and the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Virtuoso, thanks for the $10. Take this as a tip for Russell's 2 Polish mob heavies outside his Airbnb, protecting him from some DNC goons. There you go.
No shit, because I get recognized enough now. I do wonder about that. I mean, I live in a freaking 5th floor walk up in Harlem. I don't have the most, secure setup.
Right.
So. Then again, on the other side, I'm like,
you could be on the first floor.
Well, that's true. And I got offered the first floor and I turned it down. But, I mean, the upside of that is he turned it into a duplex. Downside, first floor. Fuck that shit. I wouldn't anyway. But on the upside, man, I mean, my neighbors would probably fuck anybody up who want to try to go in there. So there's that.
There you go. Let's go to some Rumble rants. Doc Durkin, thanks for the $2. Thank you, Wrestling Keaton, for the excellent coverage today. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Glad you liked it. Yep, it was a lot of fun. That stream was a Rumble exclusive. Rumble featured us on the homepage. We worked it out with them. And they did a great job for us. That live stream is now up to, hold on, I'm going to see what view count we're up to on that live stream. It did really, really well. We had a big audience for that. Yeah, that is up now over 100,000 views on Rumble. So 101,000 views for this afternoon's live stream. So that's great. All right, looks like, I believe if my notes are correct, we're going to cut into the speaker feed very soon, because if my notes are correct, it'll be Kathy Hochul next, and that will start the lineup of relatively big-name speakers. So we'll go there in just a moment. American Disaster, a 5-ounce bird could not carry a 1-pound coconut. Thank you, American Disaster. And yes, Eric Husseau, British arrested Richard Medhurst on some terrorism-related charge.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's out, though, isn't he? Like, didn't they let him go? Because he just did a video from home. So I'm assuming they stopped him and looked into. I don't know if he's being charged with anything, but I tell you, man, the UK is getting really dystopian.
British is getting. People thought I was crazy when I was there, and I was saying, "Hey, man, I'm a little worried over there."
Yeah. No, it's getting very, very, very dystopian over there. We're gonna have to get we're gonna have to get Ian back on. Explain this shit. What the hell is wrong with you? How do you guys vote for people like this? Not Ian, but how do his people vote for people like that? How do you let that happen?
I'm gonna get arrested eating eel.
Yeah,
right. I mean, we should talk. We should talk. You know what I really don't.
All right, hang on 1 second. We got to cut in right now. Here's Kathy Hochul, our governor, the chief executive of New York State.
The first president of the United States.
The first president of the United States.
Yes,
the first woman president, you mean?
Friends.
Oh, I see.
Like so many of us, my grandparents came from Ireland as teenagers with nothing but hope in their hearts.
How's it sound there? Good?
And fire in their bellies.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I think so.
They built their lives in the promised land of Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
A union
I don't need
card.
this. I don't need this working class hero
Good
crap.
work at the steel plant. The steel plant that lifted my parents from living in a trailer to the middle class.
So
Like
once
other
again, folks,
families in
super
my
chats will be
blue-collar
displayed as
community.
super heckles. So if you'd like to
They
comment
believe
on anything, remember
that
we
with
are in East
hard work,
Berlin, so
they could
don't go too
build a
crazy, you
better
crazy
future.
kids.
Yeah.
Not just for themselves, but for those with less hope and less opportunity. I'm proud of my roots and the values I learned. Grit, determination, compassion. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz grew up with those same values.
You know, she's another
those
one who was just
values
anointed out of nowhere.
Always define the people
This
of
almost
my
sounded like
state.
Big Kerr.
She did go on to win an election.
Yeah, she did end
Well,
up winning as an incumbent. Barely,
most
though,
of us
by like 5
anyway.
points in New York.
By New York State.
Donald Trump was born a New Yorker, but ended up a fraud, a philanderer, and a felon. He wasn't raised with the New York
Cat was
values
named
that I know.
Vagina.
He never had to worry about childcare costs or groceries or rent. He never had to worry about anything or anyone but himself. Trust me, America. If you think you're tired of Donald Trump, talk to a New Yorker. We've had to deal with him for 78 long years. The fraud, the tax dodging, the sham university, the shady charities.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Workers. He abuses women, brags about it, and then takes away their rights. And New Yorkers are sick of it.
You jumped the gun on that Bill Clinton
It's
sound
no
drop. Should have
wonder
waited
he
a
had
few
to
more
flee to
seconds.
Mar-a-Lago. Sorry about that, Florida. Sorry about that.
You're right.
Trump hasn't spent
Man,
much
she's
time
really
in
a
New York
compelling
lately,
speaker, isn't she? She really, you could tell the
except
room is
that is
really
to get
just
convicted
the
room is
on
of
captivating.
34 felonies,
The room's on fire.
and that's just
They're
fine with us.
They're afraid the protesters
Because
breaching
New
the
York's
perimeter
motto
again.
is Excelsior, ever upward. And Trump takes us ever downward. Because here's what Trump never understood.
Was this from the Kamala Harris School of
America
Rhetoric?
isn't a luxury good to be bought and sold by the privileged and powerful few.
Oh, really?
America, we just can't afford another 4 years of that. We have kids to feed, roads to build, jobs to create, real problems to solve. And we need leaders who can get it done. Trump talked big about bringing back manufacturing jobs. But you know who actually did it? President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kamala.
All right, 1 hour and 54 minutes
no
left.
further. Wait,
we are inside 2 hours to go. It's good news.
I could have been at dinner with Jimmy.
Building a $100 billion
I was on the train back from the rally.
Factory with union labor.
So why you hurt me like this, Jimmy? Why you hurt me?
I mean, you could have gone. I could have gone.
I gotta work.
Private
I gotta work. I'm not gonna
investment
do that to you, man.
in American history.
You earned it.
You're over there
to
with the
create
frickin'. You got the
50,000
twins. You got the
good-paying
baby. You got the
jobs.
wife. You live in the American nightmare.
The Biden
The least I
Harris
can do is show up.
administration
But you know what I ate
has made the
tonight?
most
If it makes you feel any
significant
better, I know you missed out on a
investments in
nice
our
dinner with
economy
Jimmy,
in
but I ate
generations.
real peasant food
And as
tonight. Just
president,
spaghetti aglio olio. Just spaghetti with
Kamala
garlic
Harris
and
will
oil. Just
continue
whipped
to
it up
build
real quick.
an opportunity
Whipped it up real
economy
quick.
for all.
I went to
Nothing
I went to
special.
a Mexican place
My
in
friends,
the restaurant in the
History's
neighborhood.
watching us. Together,
Yeah, that looked like a
we
great
must
margarita.
protect
And hey,
abortion
$5
rights.
margarita. That's the thing about
Together,
Chicago.
we
I hope
must
I'm not
protect the
offending
middle
anyone by
class.
talking over this
Together,
idiot. I
we
mean, who
must
cares about
protect
this?
Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit about this? Yeah, no, I mean, Chicago, it's like, I guess in the Midwest.
Kathy Hochul sucks so bad. What we had for dinner is better.
I'd rather talk about spaghetti and
It's
garlic
more
and oil.
interesting,
I'd rather
yes.
talk about the parsley and the breadcrumbs that I threw in to soup up my spaghetti with garlic and oil. You know, I made it with parsley and breadcrumbs. You know, I tried to season it up a little bit. I think I did a decent enough job.
I'll show you what I had. All right,
Got to mute it.
So
Don't want a copyright claim on top of this. It's bad enough we have to do this. We need a copyright claim on top of it. Yeah, no, that looked good.
That was
and
the
a $5
margarita.
Where do you get a $5 margarita anymore?
Exactly. That was the tacos that they were known for. That was like their special taco.
All right, very cool.
And then that was like their take on Mexican corn. They took it off
like
the
street
cob.
corn. All right, I like
They
that.
took it off the cob. It was very good.
Yeah.
And that was a churro cheesecake that they made.
All right. So it sounds like all right. So it sounds like you ate pretty good.
I did eat pretty good.
Yeah, and you know, Chicago, it's not like New York. It seems like a kind of place that, like, yeah, all cities are gentrified now, but like, feels like Chicago, you could still get like a good deal. You know, you could still get a decent meal for a decent price.
All of that. $29.
Yeah, see, that's amazing. Like in the Northeast, you can't get that. Like I went to New Hampshire. When I was in New Hampshire, there was a brewery right across the parking lot from the Marianne event, and I got to the Marianne event early. So I'm like, all right, I haven't had a real meal in days. Let me go to this brewery. It was horrible. And it came to like $35, like a burger and like 2 beers. The burger was like a frozen patty. Like it was a disgrace. It was unbelievable. And you know what they had? They make their own beer, right? And so they actually brew their own beer. They had this beer there, which I just had to try out of curiosity. I didn't buy a whole thing. You know, like the breweries, they'll give you like a little tasting sample for like $2 or $3 or whatever. They had a mint chocolate chip stout, literally. And the guy was so proud, the guy who makes it, like, people say it tastes like ice cream. I'm like, yeah, it does taste like ice cream. Does anybody ever, I asked him, I said, does anybody ever drink a full glass of this? Because, like, I had one sip, and I could not imagine drinking an entire beer that tastes like chocolate chip ice cream.
I'm sure he loved that.
Yeah, I said, it tastes just like ice cream. I said, does anybody ever buy a full pour of this, or do they only sell it 3 ounces at a time? Because I couldn't imagine drinking a whole one of these. He's like, yeah, it is more of a taster. And I'm like, yeah, it is bizarre and not in a good way. But yeah, that was like $35. So like you can't get a decent meal for a decent price anywhere. But it feels like in the Midwest you probably could still get it. And Chicago is a cool town like that.
I showed you I showed you the picture of what the eggs cost. And
yeah.
Where I texted that to you, the land that inflation forgot.
Yeah.
Which I guess here it was even cheaper than that.
Right.
Like what the eggs cost here are like what the eggs cost a little more than pre-COVID.
Who the fuck is this? More. Is this Kamala walking across the stage? All right, we're not.
Why is she out on stage?
Nah, she's just waving. Sometimes they come out and wave.
She's just
gotta
waving.
Mute it. They get the copyright song here. That's the other bitch about doing this on YouTube. That's another thing that was really fun about doing a Rumble exclusive. We don't have to worry about the music in the background.
Well, since we can't play her live. That's Michael Rapaport.
Is she talking now? All right, let's hear it.
Good to be with everyone this evening in this hall and everyone at home.
Is that like seeing the bride before the wedding?
This is going to be a great week. And I want to kick us off by celebrating our incredible President Joe Biden, who will be speaking later tonight. Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation, and for all you will continue to do. We are forever grateful to you.
Oh, hey, that's what I wanted to do. I'm glad she mentioned that. So I want to set an over-under on the length of the ovation that he gets. I'm betting he gets 141 seconds. I'll time it. 141-second ovation. That's what I think.
That's very specific.
Yep.
I see
a little over 2 minutes. That's what I think he'll get.
I mean, look.
You taking the over or the under? I'm setting the over under at 141 seconds.
If it's 141 seconds, if it really is 141 seconds, I think you may get kidnapped by a government organization that is pursuing time travelers. Because that will establish you've come back from the future to play lotto.
Yeah, exactly. It seems right to me. Feels right to me. So who's taking the over? Who's taking the under? I'm setting the over under
141 seconds.
That's 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Yeah.
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go under. That sounds high to me.
All right. That is respectable.
The United States of America.
All right, she's gonna go hit the wine rack in the green room.
I'm really warming up to her.
Now the new thing is that she's a drunk. That's the new Republican attack plan against her. They'll do anything but talk about inflation. It seems like they're willing to attack her in every other way.
She does have a just hit the Chablis before she went on vibe.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fair enough. But yeah, just like. It's amazing how they'll just go through everything except what would actually win them the election.
Well, this is the problem Republicans have. Their actual policies suck.
Right.
And when people hear them, they don't like them.
Who is this? What is this? Who is this guy?
Who is
this? Who is this guy? Anybody know who this is in the chat? You guys are smart. You guys follow politics in the chat.
You guys, yeah.
America,
we really come at this from
to the
our
first
golf
night
coverage.
of the Democratic National Convention. Now, how is that for an opening act?
We're both failed golfers.
Yes.
Keaton blew out his knee
now, as
in
our
the big
Vice
tournament.
President just said,
Had to go
over
to
the next 4
punditry.
days, we will be bringing folks together from all around the country, people from every walk of life, to talk about this nation we love and about a candidate who has devoted her life to public service, who never shies away from a righteous fight.
Who is this? Is he on the list?
And who always
I don't think so. Is this like is he a presenter? Do they have like interim people on the list? AOC is the next big name on the list. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not AOC. Sean Fain. I am interested in seeing what that fucking asshole's got to say. So Sean Fain is next, according to my itinerary. Then AOC. Then Hillary Clinton, then James Clyburn. Wow, you talk about a lineup there.
Our middle class,
that's what, according to this list.
Future
maybe they've changed it up
rights,
since then.
The future of our climate, our security, our schools, the future of our freedom.
Is he an actor? He's an actor. That's what people are saying. He's an actor.
Democracy. we will see the vision.
Oh, yeah, he's an actor.
Of our
Yeah,
nominee.
I don't know who.
It is a vision of stability.
I heard
security,
Maduro said he
and
hasn't seen
opportunity
this
for
many
everyday
whores in one
Americans,
place since
where
his
we
last trip
continue
to
to grow
Tijuana.
this economy by growing the middle class. And where the
He
safety
said, "I
of
hope
our
they have a
children,
wash
our
basin
families,
back
and our
there."
communities
Hey, speaking of Maduro, where is
are
Sparky? I don't see him
fundamental
anywhere.
civil rights.
Yeah, where's Sparky?
It is a future where, instead of scoffing at allies and fawning over dictators, our president stands up for our friends, faces down our adversaries, and American democracy remains a beacon of hope and inspires the world to take on
He treats
our
objects
biggest
like women.
challenges
That's right.
together. We'll learn the story of a leader who has dedicated her life to doing the work of making good on the
Is he
promise of
introducing-
America. A
Well, that
leader who
sounds like-
understands the middle class because she grew up in the middle class.
This is AOC.
A leader who has taken on
Right?
powerful
No.
interests at every step of her career and fought for the rights and freedoms of all of us.
I mean, this sounds like a Hillary intro to me.
And then, of course,
It does.
we
Yeah,
will hear
that's
again
what I
from
was
the
thinking.
Democratic nominee
I don't think they
herself,
would
the
pump
next
AOC
president
like
of the
that.
No, they
United
wouldn't.
States of America, Kamala Harris.
Oh, okay. So he's just giving a general
he's just-
overview.
Because she
Just
has
blowing
a
smoke up
message
her
for
ass.
us. It is a message
And he wouldn't
that's
be the
joyful,
first.
not mean-spirited. A message of public service, not self-service. A message of optimism and opportunity, not chaos and division. A message that has woken us up to who we are.
And, you know, if
who
J.D.
we've
Vance
always
wins
been.
the debate, he'll be the
Because
last in a long
Americans
line of men
are
to
not
pound
a
Kamala's
cynical
walls.
people. We are not small-minded. And whether we realize it right now or not, we are currently already writing
And you
a new
talk
chapter
about
of the
Trump.
American story.
Well, I'm not running for office. I mean, I wouldn't advise Trump to
And we
make that
can
joke.
dream as big as we want. So, I just want to ask you, are you excited?
Yeah, that's the problem with
Yeah.
Trump. Nobody has to advise
Well,
him. He
good.
just
Are you
goes.
ready?
But I read an
Okay.
article about how
Well, then
they
I
got. I
challenge
guess
you
this
to
is
make
true.
this
They got
the moment
Tulsi.
You get off the
Yeah,
sidelines.
Play Harris
give
in
him
the
the
debate
debate prep
prep.
advice, yeah.
So I want you to text join to 30330.
And you know, the spin
Get
is
involved.
he's
Because when
actually
we
taking
fight,
this
what
debate
happens?
seriously.
We win.
Okay.
And we are going to win this thing together.
That's what they're
And while
saying.
we're doing it,
He
They can't even get
realizes
they
the
can't even get
stakes are
actors that
high.
people have
Let's
heard
get
of
started.
anymore. I don't even know who this guy is. You can't get George Clooney to come out. Who is that? I don't even know who that guy
That
is.
guy's an actor. Is that
Yeah,
what he
apparently
is?
he's an actor. It's what the people
He's
are
an
saying.
actor? I've never
All
seen.
right, we got to. I mean, they're killing us with the music here.
Yeah.
That's all we need is to get the stream throttled and got to start it up again. All right, let's see. Oh,
I mean, it's all
who,
very
now another
inspiring.
one I've never heard of. Who are these people? Wow, he's popular. This guy. Look at this guy's getting a big ovation. Who is this guy? Somebody must have heard of
Somebody
this guy.
said he was a governor, right?
This guy?
They said no. Who is this?
Thank you.
Who is
This
this guy? Chat. Genius chat. Most deranged audience on
So fun to
YouTube.
be
Who the
back
fuck is
here
this?
in
Who
the
is this?
United Center.
Oh, so the last guy
And
was
as
on
you guys
Scandal.
know, a lot of good
Well, I
stuff
can see
has
why they
happened
gave
in
him
this
stage
building.
time. Then.
Yeah.
Especially
Oh,
in
this
the
is
90s.
the coach of the Warriors.
You young
Oh, Richie
people,
Not from the
Google
classic
Tony
Michael
Gold.
exploitation
Jordan,
Thanks,
you
Richie.
can read all about it. Okay. So there was
I
an
saw a young lady
amazing
with a
live
Warriors t-shirt
in this
on
building
today.
back in
That's
those
very
days.
Yeah, we
exciting.
coach the
I
the
feel
basketball
that
team,
same
the Golden State
winning
Warriors.
spirit here tonight.
Is that
I think, yeah, that's what they're saying.
so? He's a basketball.
So the last time I was in a packed basketball arena was in Paris, France. 9 days ago, some of the best players on earth, 12 incredible American men, came together to win Olympic gold. And the next night, I was back in that same building watching 12 more of the best players on earth.
A
Our
trans with a
incredible
Schmendrick
American
swinging it
women
in a girl's
do the same
bathroom.
thing. And I cannot
We should
think
have
of a
him
better
sit in with
metaphor
us.
for what this country is all about than the way Team USA came together at the Olympics. We had players from across our
Dueling
wonderful country.
basil pasta.
Players who have
dishes.
trained and fought relentlessly, shed tears trying to beat one another throughout their careers, joining forces to wear the red, white, and blue. And when we won, the American flag raised to the rafters, the national anthem playing, Gold medals draped around the necks of our players, whose hands were held over their hearts. It was the proudest moment of my life. Thank you. Thank you. I could never have imagined that a few days later I would receive an invitation to step into a different kind of arena. And so here I am. I know very well that speaking out.
Yeah, I did get that tweet,
politics
His Highness.
these
You're
days
going to have to
comes
donate
with
more than
risks.
$1 at a time to
I
get
can
us
see
that.
the
Those
shut
things are
up
like
and whistle
15
tweets
grand by
being
the time you
fired
pay
off.
for
What is
everything.
that?
Like a live streaming
But I
device,
also
like
knew
a
as soon as I was
self-sufficient
asked
thing
that
that
it was
gives you
too
like your
important
own
as an
video
American
feed where you can
citizen
like live stream
not
high
to
quality
speak
from
up
anywhere.
in an election of this magnitude.
By the time you add up all,
What are you connecting to a satellite?
I don't know what it is, but by the time I've heard of them, but I've talked to people who've had them, and yeah, by the time you add up everything, those cost like 10 to 15 grand to set up. So you're gonna have to up that Rumble Rant amount a little bit there.
Even a grandfather.
A little more than $1.
And as an American, I believe in a certain kind of leadership. I believe that leaders must display dignity.
Yes, that's a good observation, Soccer Papa. I appreciate that observation. It's a good observation.
Must tell the truth.
It's a good point.
I believe that leaders should be able to laugh at themselves.
I mean, who gives a fuck what a basketball coach thinks? What I mean, my God, who fucking cares? Why would you put a person like this at 9:20 at night? This is prime time. Why do these things run so late? I don't understand it. Aren't they trying to appeal to like normal middle Americans? Aren't the people who decide these elections, don't they live in the heartland? Don't they grow corn in the morning or something? Don't they get up early? They're not up till fucking midnight watching this fucking bullshit. Don't they go to bed early? I mean, why you got a basketball coach on at 9:20 at night? They still got all these speakers left to get to.
This,
You're gonna go fucking pull some onions out of the ground at 6 in the morning. They got to stay up all night to watch this.
I don't think they're doing that anymore, man. I don't think they're doing that anymore. They might be going to work for a big agribusiness firm that has an enormous machine that pulls onions out of the ground.
Yeah. Of course you can, AJ.
Of course.
Coach to coach, that guy's awesome.
You know, I met today. And he was on the stream, $1 Million Trooper. But I thought he was a fucking Fed, man, because he was following me and he didn't introduce himself.
He's built like a Fed too. Big guy.
Big guy.
Muscle,
And
big
he's following
strong
me.
guy.
Every time I moved, he moved, and finally I turned around. I was like, "Yo, man, why are you following me?" It's like $1
I
Million
wanted you to
Trooper.
know how I feel
all
every
right.
day of the NBA season.
It's like, why is this guy following me, man? I'm definitely not the most threatening person here. I don't see why the Secret Service would hone in on me.
Yeah. Hey, patrons, you guys are gonna have call-in access tomorrow too to the Pizza Summit. It's gonna be a nice hangout. It's gonna be a fun time, and I'm gonna get some New York pizza, so I won't be left out. So get a slice of pizza for lunch if you're gonna watch.
You're up there. You can't really get New York pizza.
You can find it. There's a place right near me that's very good.
That's
You
good.
just have to seek it out. I mean, you have to seek it out. It's not like, when you're close to the city, you can assume a baseline quality of every pizza.
Yeah.
Here you can't.
Right.
Here you run into a lot of duds. But you could also get a lot of really good ones. There's a lot of good pizza here. You just have to seek it out.
When I lived in Albany, the best I could do was like acceptable.
Not as libertarians.
That was the highest
Americans.
standard they ever reached in Albany.
There's a
Acceptable.
place right down the block from me. It's very good. Old Italian woman runs it. La Bella. It's good. I shouldn't have said that. Now people are going to know where I
Each of
live.
us doing our part to build a more perfect union. That vision
look,
is
everyone
what
knows
this
I live in
campaign
Harlem, but
is all
Harlem's a
about.
big
It's
place.
why I'm here
Yeah.
tonight. And it's why
I
I'll be getting out
never get
every day
specific beyond that, if you noticed.
to help people get out and vote on November 5th and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as the next president and vice president of the United States. And after the results are tallied that night, we can, in the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night. Thank you.
Wow, that was great. That was amazing.
Was that from Maurice Sendak?
Yeah. Is there going to be more music now? Another musical interlude?
Let me tell you folks in Ohio and in this area, don't sell your house. Do not sell it. We're going to get those jobs coming back, and we're going to fill up those factories, so it's going to happen.
But Trump lied and abandoned Lordstown.
This is about a community.
It's going to be a big change to go somewhere else.
The GM factory in Lord.
Who cares? All right.
Okay. So listen, I don't doubt that this is true, but how many videos like this could you cut about Democratic presidents? How
Right.
many videos like this could you cut for Bill Clinton alone, making promises to people? What did he tell people? They're gonna have better jobs because of NAFTA. They're gonna have better jobs, right?
Right.
All the shitty jobs are gonna go down there, but you're gonna have the good jobs up here.
Right.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, this got to be Sean Fain, right? I mean, Sean Fain's got to be coming up now.
Right, sure.
So we will hear from him, and then AOC. I mean, Biden's probably not going to speak for more than, I would imagine, 15 minutes. All right, let's see.
Yeah, where's Mark Hamill? I would be.
Yeah, here he is.
Isn't he in Chicago?
Is he?
I believe so. I believe he just did like Chicago Con, because he charmingly told his audience, any of you fans who are MAGA people, you can go force yourself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, look at this fucking asshole. You talk about a sellout. Talk about a guy who pounded his chest. You have to earn our endorsement, and we want a ceasefire. Now look at him. Big star.
Thank you.
On top of it all, his facial hair
Good
is the
evening,
perfect
America,
length. Pisses me off.
and good
Perfectly
evening
groomed
to the people
scruff.
that make this world move, the working
you can do
class.
that if you put in a little more effort, Keaton. Don't blame him for that.
On behalf of 1 million active and retired members of the UAW, I am honored to support Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to be our next president and vice president.
Where the fuck did you get the balls?
And I want to say thank you to Joe Biden for making history by walking the picket line with the UAW.
Yeah, got a lot out of that.
For the UAW and for working class people everywhere, this election comes down to one question. Which side are you on?
Which side are you on?
On one side, we have Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who have stood shoulder to shoulder with the working class. On the other side, we have Trump and Vance.
So I guess you don't count the railroad workers as working
Two
class.
lapdogs for the billionaire class who only
They're
serve
temporarily
themselves.
embarrassed millionaires, those railroad workers.
So for us in the
right.
labor movement, it's real simple. Kamala Harris is one of us. She's a fighter for the working class.
No, he didn't.
And Donald Trump is a scab.
Her parents were fucking professors.
Hey, there's Sparky. What took you so long, Sparky?
Did you hear Maduro's joke about it being like a two-line horn? they say it stinks like fish in there.
Trump's a scab. That's their chant.
That's not just my opinion. That's a fact. All we have to do is look at the track record. When Donald Trump was president, corporate America ran wild. Donald Trump did not bring back the auto industry. When Donald Trump was president, auto plants closed. Trump did nothing.
So under Democrats,
told workers
the
in Lordstown,
manufacturing industry exploded.
that he would be bringing all the auto jobs back. And
Barack
Trump
Obama
did
went out the door
nothing.
trying to pass more trade deals.
Yeah, the TPP, yeah.
In
TPP.
2019,
He went out the door that way, slow jamming the
General Motor
TPP on
Workers
Jimmy Fallon.
went on strike
right.
for 40 days for good jobs and a better life. And Trump did nothing.
Look, I'm not even saying this is not
cheap.
true about Trump. We always say that.
Right.
But in
But you're speaking at the
2019,
fucking Democratic
you
convention.
know who was on the
You're
picket
speaking at the
line
convention of the
standing
party that
shoulder
did
to shoulder
more
with
to
auto
destroy
workers?
the part of the country you're in.
I'll give you a clue. Her
Donald
initials
Trump
are Kamala
had the
Harris.
time to do.
Right.
In 2023, who helped bring jobs back to Lordstown, Ohio? Kamala Harris. And in 2024, who will stand with the working class in our fight for justice? Kamala Harris.
Did he say Kamala Harris
And
helped to
that's
bring
the
jobs
difference.
back to Ohio? When
Donald
did she do
Trump is all talk, and Kamala Harris walks the walk.
Oh, look, $1 Million Troopers here. Tell Russ I'm standing right behind you.
I'm telling you, I was like, fucking. I
the
didn't,
words of the
I
great
didn't
American
think they
poet,
cared enough
Nelly.
about me to
It's
have
getting
me
hot in
die
here.
mysteriously in a rally.
I knew he was going to take that off at some point. I knew there was going to be some gimmick to that because you wouldn't wear a T-shirt under a blazer unless you were going to do that. I saw that one coming.
And look at these fucking zombies on the floor.
Yeah, they don't care. They wouldn't know a labor leader if you did, from a hole in the ground.
Look at
The hell do they know about the UAW?
It's hot in here. It's hot in here because you're fired up and you're fed up, and the American working class is fired up and fed up.
Yeah.
You take his T-shirt off.
When you got that many people peddling their ass in
American
one
working
place, it gets
class
hot.
is in a fight for
That's
our
right.
lives.
It's a lot of
And
body
if you don't
heat.
believe me,
All that
just last
fornication.
night, blue-collar workers, the UAW members at Cornell University had to walk out on strike for a better life because they're fighting corporate greed. And our only hope is to attack corporate greed head on. Corporate greed turns blue-collar blood, sweat, and tears into Wall Street stock buybacks and CEO jackpots.
And if there is one thing we all associate with the Democratic Party, it's standing up to Wall Street.
It hurts consumers.
That's what they do.
And
They
it hurts
fight back
America.
against Wall Street.
That's right.
And corporate greed
Soccer
is
Papa,
alive
was
and
it this
well in the
important
auto
to
industry.
you that we know that the guy was in Ghost, or did you
No, last
accidentally
fall,
submit that multiple times, or did
we
I?
achieved
I don't think
life-changing
I
gains in our strike at the
copied
Big
it
Three.
multiple times.
We even won a commitment to reopen a closed plant not too far from here. We were able to do that
Jimmy should interview
thanks
this
to the
guy.
support
That would go well.
Kamala Harris and Joe
be
Biden
hilarious.
and the thousands of auto workers that went on strike. But a year later, one company wants to go back on their commitments in our contract.
Ooh.
And let me be clear.
Like, how they react like they know what he's talking
Stellantis
about.
must keep the promises
Or
they
care.
made to America in our union
Like they care.
contract.
They thought this guy was here to fix the air conditioner when he came in.
And the UAW will take whatever action necessary at
God.
Stellantis
But
or any other
when
corporation
they show Democrat
to stand
crowds,
up
they're just
and hold
such
corporate America
disgusting
accountable.
creeps. This is
And
why
when
the
the
night Hillary
UAW
lost was
stands
so
up,
exhilarating.
We
Oh, yeah,
know
exactly.
who
No, yeah, no,
stands
exactly.
with us
'Cause these
and who
people
stands
cried.
against us.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true.
Donald Trump
2529 in the chat. Hey, folks, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button on Rumble. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You know, we lost a bunch of subscribers recently. Not a loss, not a net loss, but it canceled out our subscriber growth because the Trump people got mad that I was telling them the truth about how he's an idiot.
They don't like that.
They don't like that.
They don't like the sound of that.
tactic
No.
of the rich. It's the oldest trick in the book.
They didn't realize.
They want to blame the frustrations of working class people. They want to take those frustrations. They want to blame it on race. They want to blame it on LGBTQ plus people. They want to blame it on some destitute and desperate person at the border. They do that because they want working class people to be divided and to focus and keep the focus off the one true enemy, corporate greed.
You know what's really funny? I've been saying for a long time now that the idea that we could not stop the migration at the border is absurd on the face of it, given our resources. And lo and behold, crossings at the border have suddenly plummeted 3 months before the election.
Are you ready to stand up?
It's almost like they were able to do something about it.
And put Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the White House. We need a defender of the working class in the White House. Someone who is one of us and someone who knows how to fight. And that fighter is the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Hey, did GHU see that come
When the Supreme Court of the United States ordered her to release those prisoners, she fought, and she kept them in jail for cheap labor. That's the kind of fighter we need in the White House.
That's right.
Please welcome New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
All right. Sorry about that, folks. Just gonna dodge the copyright bots here. Yeah. So okay. So now AOC. All right. So now it looks like we're getting into the.
Yeah, you know she got her mind right, and they're giving her that speaking slot now.
Yeah.
But they still haven't forgiven her. They still
it's still night one. I mean, this
buried her on night one.
Here she is. No, this is the brutal stretch here. This is so Sean Fain, AOC, then Hillary, then Clyburn. That is a tough.
Thank you, Chicago, for your energy. Thank you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, for your vision.
Wow.
And thank you, Joe Biden.
You're gonna get your mind right, and I mean right.
She got her mind right. They gave her that speaking slot.
6 years ago, I was taking omelet orders as a waitress in New York City. I didn't have health insurance. My family was fighting off foreclosure.
There you go, David.
And we were struggling with bills after my dad passed away unexpectedly from cancer.
And someone told me Congress people not only get a pension for life,
we were just looking for an honest
but you get nice, cushy corporate board seats and lobbying jobs when you leave office.
Politics that seemed blind to the realities of working people. It was then, only through the miracles of democracy and community, that the good people of the Bronx and Queens chose someone like me to elect them in Congress. And America, in my heart, I know from that same cloth of hope and aspiration, we will also elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as presidents and vice presidents of the United States of America.
Yeah,
I am here
she
tonight
got her mind
because
right.
America has before us a rare and precious opportunity. In Kamala Harris, we have a chance to elect a president who is for the middle class because she is
with
from
this speech,
the
there's really
class.
not even like any pretense of like I was sent here to disrupt.
The urgency
You know what I mean? Like there's
of
not
rent checks
there's not
and
even any pretense of
groceries
that.
and prescriptions.
No,
she is
that's
as
it. Hey, man, the
committed
people who
to
said she
our
was Pelosi
reproductive
2.0,
and
man,
civil
they
rights
called it.
as she is
They
to
called
taking
it.
on corporate greed.
One day, just like Nancy Pelosi will say,
And she is
I have
working
signs in my
tirelessly
basement for
to
Medicare
secure a
for all.
ceasefire
I've been
in
for
Gaza
Medicare for
and
us.
bringing hostages home. In Kamala Harris, I see a leader who understands.
Wow.
Yeah, see, that's
I see
just
a
like
leader
despicable
with a real
gaslighting about the
commitment to a
ceasefire.
better
and that shit.
future for working families.
That's a
And
crystal
Chicago,
ball job.
we have to help her win. Because
That's
we
what Kyle
know
calls it.
that Donald Trump would
Yeah.
sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets and greasing the palms of his Wall Street friends. And
No, the Democrats don't do that
No, they don't
at
do that.
all.
of hearing
Not at all.
about how a
They are
too
pure
big
as the
union
driven
buster
snow.
thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of
Kamala
life.
Harris, she's talking about? Since when?
The truth is, Don,
Since when?
you
Who is
cannot
this person
love
of
this
which he
country
speaks?
if you only fight for the wealthy and big business. To love this country
This guy's a
is to
shitbag.
fight for its people, all people, working people, everyday Americans like bartenders and factory workers and fast food cashiers who punch a clock and are on their feet all day in some of the toughest jobs out there.
Yeah, no. That's where most of those Democrat politicians are
Ever
coming
since
from.
I got
now.
elected, Republicans
Deep
have attacked
empathy
me
with the working
by
class.
saying that I should go back
They
to
exude it.
bartending.
They exude it.
That's right.
But let me tell you, I'm happy to any day of the week because there is nothing wrong with working for a living.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure she'd be thrilled to go back to bartending. Yeah, right.
I think she should.
Imagine.
I bet you could get her old job back.
Imagine
I always
having
forget the name of
leaders
that
in the
place
White
over
House
there.
who understand
That
that.
she
Yeah,
worked
it's in
at.
Flat. I forget
Leaders
what
like
it is.
Kamala
it's in
and
Flat.
Tim.
I don't think they served omelets. I think it was not an omelet joint.
But
So it struck me as $13
I ate there
happy hours.
Because the choice is
I ate
clear
there
to
once.
us
Oh, yeah?
does not mean that the path will be
It's
easy.
generic.
Over the next 78 days,
Generic
we will
Mexican
have
food.
to pour every ounce, every minute, every moment into making history on November 5th. But we cannot send Kamala and Tim to the White House alone. Together, we must also elect strong Democratic majorities in the House and in the Senate so that we can deliver on an ambitious agenda
Oh, right.
for
Like
the
all
people.
the other times. That everyone
Because
voted
if you
harder.
are a working
Sent
parent
more
trying
Democrats
afford
to the
rent
House.
and
Wow, you guys
childcare,
really
Kamala
came
is
through
for you.
every time.
If you are a senior,
You didn't
who
use
had to
the
go back to
rotating
work
villain
because your
technique.
retirement didn't stretch far
Lieberman,
enough, Kamala
Manchin. You
is
didn't
for
set
you.
someone up to blame for not doing
If you're
anything
an
with
immigrant
that.
family,
No.
just starting
Never did
your
that.
American story, Kamala is
It's a
for
good
you.
point, Thomas Richardson. Yeah, I guess now that Biden's not the candidate anymore, they don't really give,
They don't care
give
if
a
he
shit.
falls apart.
Like send them out there at
They don't give a
11:30.
shit.
Send them out there at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning,
And
just for
elect
fun.
Kamala Harris
help
to the
Kamala.
presidency on November
They probably
5th.
hope he
Make
has
her
a
look
stroke.
bad.
This
We
way
will
Kamala
send
can
a
become the
loud
president. She'll
message
run as an
that the
incumbent.
people of this
There you
nation
go.
will not go back. We choose a new path and open the door to a new day, one that is for the people and by the people. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless. God bless you all.
Nicely done. All right, very good. All right.
And that's all you get. If you suck the DNC off hard enough for the next 8 years, maybe we'll give you a better slot and more time.
There you go. Well, now
You got a lot,
Hillary
you got
is
a lot
coming
to
up.
make up for sitting in on that office. Would you think we forgot about that?
There we go. Oh, this guy again. This guy. What is he? Is he emceeing it?
Lord.
Is he like the
So Kamala Harris's story
Billy Crystal of the DNC? He's the
begins
host.
in a
He's doing the
middle-class
hosting.
neighborhood
Is he the
in
Jimmy
East
Kimmel?
Is that what he's doing?
The Ricky Gervais?
Is that what's
Yeah.
happening here?
in a modest apartment above a
They
nursery
went-
school.
They don't usually
in a
have
close-knit
someone doing
No, they don't
that.
usually have like an
They looked out
MC.
for one another. With a mother who instilled in Kamala Harris the core principles that have defined her life in public service.
Oy vey.
I'd
These
like
are
to
the
see Kamala's
experiences
father come
that
on.
made her the leader.
Yeah,
That'd be
he's
interesting.
based. He should be your VP.
He should be.
He's got good politics, apparently.
Yeah, and maybe it would heal the gaping wound at the core of her being.
How many Biden-Harris mass graves are there in Gaza? Thank you, Philip.
Well, we don't care about that, man. There were some free lunches.
Yeah, they got some free lunches and marijuana.
Yeah. Legalized marijuana. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Free tampons you can stick up your ass.
If you want to make a tampon omelet, you got to kill some Gazans.
You want to shove a tampon up your ass, suck on it? You take it and suck on it because you suck?
Yeah.
Suck on it because that's what you do. You suck.
Well, he did a second video where he said specifically they need to send tampons to Gaza.
Yeah.
Do you know what period poverty is doing to the people of Gaza?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. Tim Walz saw that. He'll send feminine hygiene products to Gaza. Will Donald Trump do that? No, I don't think he will. So maybe these protesters should get the tampon out of their ears and listen up to what we're offering the people of Gaza. We're offering them free pads and tampons. Either or. You can have both. Whatever your preference, we're going to offer
Whatever your preference.
Not everybody likes to stick those tampons up inside their coochie. So we're going to give them pads. Either one. What do you think Donald Trump's going to do? He ain't going to give them no pads. Not even one tampon's going to go over there if Donald Trump's the president.
If a tampon is too invasive, give you a pad. When her primary... Oh, you mean... well, that's come and gone. The AOC primary? Yeah, that's done. The New York primary, that was June 25th. Ilhan Omar won hers by about 11 points. Or 13 points, I think. Yeah, she definitely puts on the accent there when she gets fired up. Good observation. Kamala and Tim ran up the hill to fetch corrupt pail of bribes. Thank you, Mack Truck. All these retrospectives, you would think they might want to like save these for the last night. I don't know. I mean, they're really dragging this out. Yeah, how is Biden going to come out and speak? It's going to be too late for him. All right, so now we got, after this...
I mean, it's kind of creepy how much her sister looks like her.
All right, so we got Hillary Clyburn, Jamie Raskin. Why is this? Oh, Jamie Raskin, Jasmine Crockett, Grace Meng, a congresswoman from New York. Joint remarks by three people I've never heard of.
That restaurant Jimmy was going to sounded pretty good, man.
This is a lot of stuff like that. How can they put him on at 11:30? I don't understand why you would put the president on at 11:30 at night, especially when he can't really function past 6 o'clock at night.
I got one word for you: Pelosi.
Yeah, there you go. Sabotage.
She's the kind of person who kicks you when you're down.
Do you know where Jimmy went? I mean, you probably can't say it on the air because somebody will go there now.
I forget the name of it, but yeah, it was. I don't want to describe the cuisine because God forbid somebody shows up there.
That happened to Alex Jones once. There was this hilarious video where he was doing a live stream with Milo Yiannopoulos from some bar in town, and apparently, one of his like real freak fans knew where he was, and he shows up, and he starts trying to sell him on some website that he bought, like InfoWarsMusic.com or something. And so he wanted out. He's like, I got all these artists signed who are ready to give you their music for cheap to play on the show. It was hilarious because he just found them. He just recognized the bar and he just showed up. And that can happen, especially in a big city.
Sure it can. Yeah. Speaking of which, we got to get a venue for election night.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that. Yeah, the fucking place, I won't say what it is, but they said no.
They said no. They didn't like the cut of our jib.
We should do it in Grant Park in Chicago, like Obama.
Honestly, that is a concern. Like, if we're not just renting a theater, if we're going to a bar, it's a much better chance that they care what our content is.
Yeah, there is. Look, it's not going to be the easiest thing to put together.
That is, New York is fucking shit lib central.
Yeah, maybe we should do it in maybe we should Maybe we should do it in like East Palestine, Ohio. Something like that.
I mean, they'll take us.
Yeah, they'll take us. That's our scene right there. It's more our speed.
The cutting room, if they're not booked, would almost definitely let us do it. It's just, man, drinks are a little expensive for the kind of crowd we have.
Doing in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
I mean, that would be better, but no one's going to come there. Yeah.
Who are these? Okay, we should probably. I don't know who these people are, but all right, let's see what they're saying.
I know my mom has one more thing to say.
Is this her sister?
Kamala, your mom would be so proud of you.
Is that Kamala's sister?
Yeah, her mom's dead, so I guess maybe that's her aunt or something. I don't know.
Oh. All right, now it's got to be.
It's live at Chernobyl.
Live at Chernobyl.
Please welcome former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Oh no!
Oh, they got the Sarah Bareilles music again. You think they'd be embarrassed.
You thought
by
this
now.
was hard to take before.
You'd think that Sarah Bareilles music, you'd think it would give her PTSD by now, because that was like the anthem of the 2016 campaign. You'd think that like she would get like like actual like traumatic flashbacks from hearing this. But no,
You would think everybody would.
You'd think I mean, not me. I love this song because I associate it with the failed Hillary campaign.
Yeah.
I listened to I listened to it as a troll. I wanna see you be
Thank you.
Oh boy.
Thank you all so much.
Man, this is some party they got here. This is some lineup tonight.
Hey, can you imagine the mind of the person who would be in that room? Look at these fucking zombies. Can you imagine being excited about Hillary Clinton?
Oh man, she's getting the. All right, yeah, no, Biden's definitely getting.
Thank you, my fellow Democrats. Thank you, my fellow Americans. Thank you so much.
Came, you saw, he died.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Look at this.
Oh,
Wow.
God. Repulsive.
Thank you so much.
Fucking repulsive. Oh, my God.
Wow. There's a lot of energy in this room, just like there is across the country. Something is happening in America.
Nancy Pelosi looks like she's straining
can
plankton
feel
through her
it.
teeth.
Something we've worked for and dreamed of for a long time. First, though, let's salute President Biden.
It's because of President Biden that 2 generations of black and brown people are incarcerated,
champion,
allowing
us
to take over the Democratic Party. We
brought
the
dignity,
real Americans, the white Americans.
and competence back to the White House. And he showed what it means to be a true patriot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for your
When threatened
lifetime
with a
of service
humiliating
and leadership.
invocation of the 25th Amendment, he chose not to put his family through that.
I like this.
And now,
That's dedication. Devoted your screen name
And
to us.
now
That's nice.
we are writing a new chapter in America's story.
I didn't know we were worth that.
You know,
Apparently
my
we
mother
are.
Dorothy was born
Very
right here
flattering.
in Chicago before women had the right to vote. That
Well,
changed
look how that turned out.
104 years ago yesterday.
You know, Elon, I don't think we even
Think
should have
about
given
it.
women the right to vote. I think it was better
Tennessee
before they had the right to
became
vote.
the final state.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's
Good point.
He's going to say that on the debate stage.
To ratify the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The state legislature was deadlocked until one lawmaker's mother, a widow who read 3 newspapers a day, sent a letter to her son. "No more delays," she wrote. "Give us the vote." And since that day, every generation has carried the torch forward. In 1972, a fearless black congresswoman named Shirley Chisholm.
Yeah. Your entire career is a repudiation
She
of the
ran
wing
for
of your party that
president.
she represented.
And her determination let me and millions of others dream bigger, not just because of who she was, but because of who she fought for. Working parents, poor children, the last, the least, and the lost.
Thanks, Billy
In
D.
1984, I brought my daughter to see Geraldine Ferraro, the first woman nominated for vice president.
You know, probably
can
not,
do this,
Gary.
Jerry
No, it's
said
not,
we can
Gary.
do
But you know, you're
anything.
part of a larger movement.
then
You know, you're
there was
a
2016, when it
decent-sized
was the
pebble in
honor of
a
my
big
life to
sea
accept
here. So
our
yes,
party's
we have
nomination
we have
for
you guys all
president.
make it worth it. Thank you very much, and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, please.
Never have we done more to earn the title hardest working men in podcasting.
Yeah, we have to do this 3 more times, by the way, folks. We're doing this tomorrow.
Nearly 66 million Americans
Fuck that
voted
shit, I'm
for a
going to
future
dinner.
where there are no
You
ceilings
can go
on
there. I'll do it
our
myself.
dreams.
I'll watch it with Augie. I'll bring my boys in.
Don't do that to the kid.
And
You don't know what the
we
damage you could be
refused
doing
to
to
give
his
up on
vulnerable
America.
little brain.
Millions marched, many ran for office. We kept our eyes on the future. Well, my friends, the future is here.
So this is the thing about Hillary Clinton invoking Shirley Chisholm. If she had been around at that time, she would have been exactly the kind of establishment goon that would crush that kid.
Oh yeah, that would want to crush her. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mother could see us. They would say,
She tried to crush
"Keep
Barack
going."
Obama.
Shirley and Jerry
Well,
would
no.
say,
If anyone didn't catch the reference,
going.
she literally said when she was running against Barack Obama that she represents
Yeah, hardworking white people. Yeah.
hardworking Americans, white Americans.
Right.
She
Women
literally
fighting
said
for
those words.
reproductive
Yeah.
health care are saying, keep going. Families building better lives. Parents stretching to afford child care.
All right, like, I mean,
struggling.
Setting aside
to
the substance
pay
of
the
the speech,
rent.
how
They're
divorced
all
from reality do you have to be this
going.
excited about America? To be like this invested in what's going on in America now? Like, you get up there and make this passionate
in
speech
each other and joy
as if there's
in
anything
our
really at
hearts.
stake, as if the country
Let's
isn't already falling
send
apart.
Kamala Harris
Yeah,
and Tim Walz to the White
Hillary
House.
is just performing for the rubes. It's the rubes that get me.
Yeah, like, how can you really think that there's anything real at stake here?
And that is just incredible. That
Yeah.
is just incredible.
The story of my life and the history of our country is that progress is possible but not guaranteed. We have to fight for it and never, ever give up. There is always a choice. Do we push forward or pull back? Come together as we the people or split?
Hey, Tusker, you want to
into
host with me
us
tomorrow so
versus
Russell can
them?
go get
That's
some
the
sushi?
choice we face in this election. Kamala has the
Pull you back in
experience
just when you're out.
Tomorrow,
and vision to lead
tomorrow,
us forward.
If JD is going to be going to the same event that I am, I could probably, if he goes to dinner earlier or later, I could probably catch dinner.
If he goes to the same event that you go to, you guys are going to be having your meals in the fucking emergency room. They're going to be bringing you, turkey sandwiches on wheat bread in the emergency room with a sippy cup of cranberry juice.
Kamala carries with her the hopes of every child she protected, every family
but maybe
she helped,
after
every
the kids
community
summit, we can go to dinner.
served.
I'm just
so as president, she will
see if they have
always
Salisbury
have
steak at the
our
hospital
backs,
cafeteria tomorrow night and to put in an order early.
and she will be a
as long as it's
fighter
from
for
a
us.
Michelin star
She
chef.
will fight to lower costs for hardworking families.
It's not
Open
for
the
me
doors
to suggest
wide
when
for
Jimmy has his
good-paying
dinner,
jobs,
but
and
I
yes,
just
she
might
will
send him a text
restore
about when I'm gonna
abortion
be
rights
available
nationwide.
The window there between the Pizza Summit and the Stein event, the workers' strike back event.
As a prosecutor, Kamala locked up murderers and drug traffickers.
And parents whose
She will
kids didn't go to school.
never rest in defense of our freedom
And people who had already served
Donald
their
Trump
sentences who were
fell
supposed to be
asleep at
released.
his own trial.
People who were
And when
wrongfully
he woke
convicted
up,
of being murderers and
he
drugs.
made his own kind of
and
history.
fought
The
to
first
not
person
admit
to run for
DNA
president
evidence to
with
exonerate them
34
when they were on
felony
death row.
convictions.
Right.
Death row. Convicted people for marijuana and then made a big joke out of the fact that
As
she
Vice
smoked it on the
President-
Breakfast Club.
As Vice President, Kamala sat in the Situation Room.
But she was under the table at the time.
Just lock him up? Is that what they're chanting?
Is that what they're saying? Is that what's happening?
You think they'd have better rhythm? You think the Democrats would at least have better rhythm? I think they're saying lock him up.
I mean, for the
We
the
also know
party
as
of
Vice
non-white
President,
people, that's a pretty
Kamala
white crowd.
sat in the Situation Room and stood for America's values. I know what it takes, and I can tell you, as Commander-in-Chief, Kamala won't disrespect our military and our veterans.
To their faces.
She reveres our Medal of Honor recipients. She won't be sending love letters to dictators. She will defend democracy and our Constitution and will protect America from enemies, foreign and
I don't know,
domestic.
Goo. They seem pretty fired up. I mean, they love Hillary. I mean, she gets them going. I mean, for Hochul, they weren't.
Think
I mean,
about
who
it.
can get excited for Hochul?
The Constitution says
Kathy Hochul.
the president's
Have you been getting
job
bombed with
is to
texts
take
from
care
different
that the laws be
Democrat
faithfully
organizations
executed.
trying to get money
Those
out
are
of
the
you today?
words of our
No.
founders.
I've been getting an
Take
unusual amount.
care.
I keep reporting
Just
them
look
as junk,
at the candidates.
but they just
Kamala
keep coming.
cares about kids and families, cares about America. Donald only cares about himself. On her first day in court, Kamala said 5 words that still guide her. Kamala Harris, for the people.
Oh my God! All right, I'm gonna.
That is something that Donald Trump will never understand. So it is no surprise, is it, that he is lying about Kamala's record?
God.
He's mocking her name and her laugh. Sounds familiar. But we have him
Hillary
on the
supporters
run
should come
now.
back.
So, no matter what the polls say, we can't let up. We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. We have to fight for the truth. We
like
have to
like
fight
that
for Kamala
that
as she
your
will fight
donors
for us.
coalesced
Because
around
you know
Kamala
what?
8 years ago and
It
made her
still
the
takes
president
a
without a
village to
single
raise
vote
a
when they found out
family,
people
heal a
wouldn't vote for her
country,
the honest way.
and win a campaign.
Like that kind of conspiracy theory. They were going to make her president no matter what the peasants thought about it.
And America needs every one of us. Our energy, our talents, our dreams. We're not just electing a president, we're uplifting our nation. We're opening the promise of America wide enough for everyone. Together, we've put a lot of cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling.
Just signed off from where?
And tonight, so close to breaking through.
Yeah, signed off from
once
where?
and
He's
for
not in
all.
town, is he?
I want to tell you what I see
Oh,
through all
he
those
was covering
cracks,
this, and he said,
and why
"Fuck
it
this
matters
shit."
for
Is that what
each
you
and
mean?
every one of us.
He
Yeah,
couldn't
well,
take anymore.
What do I see?
You know, Matt Taibbi's
I
got like
see
500,000
freedom.
subscribers. When we get to
I
that point, we'll
see
be able to do that.
The
Till then, we
freedom
gotta-
to make
we gotta
our
put in the
own
hours, my
decisions
friends.
about our health,
They work
our
hard
lives,
for their
our
money.
loves, our families. The freedom
I'm gonna
to
send him an
work
email
with
about
dignity and
When I get
prosper.
hired to do PR
To
for the world's
worship
richest
as
man,
we
then I'll
choose
be able
or
to sign
not.
off whenever I want.
To speak our minds freely.
We should
and
email
honestly.
him. We should be
should
like,
tell him
"Yo,
that.
Matt,
I see freedom
Matt, you're
from
not,
fear and
you're,
intimidation,
you know,
from
you used to
violence
be
and
a
injustice,
worker,
from
you used to
chaos
be a striver.
and
Now
corruption.
you're a lazy
I see
fuck."
the freedom to look our children in the eye and say,
We used to respect
in America,
you, Matt.
you can go
Now
as
you can't
far
even make it
as
through
your
a Hillary
hard work
Clinton
and
speech.
talent
What
will take
the
you,
shit?
and
I'll do
mean
some
it.
Twitter files.
And you know what? On the other side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United
This
States.
is like the Norm Finkelstein wrote this speech. Going on long.
Well,
getting late.
Yeah, they're very excited about it.
My friends, when a barrier falls for one of us,
Biden's not going to be able to come out.
it falls.
He's not going to.
and
He can't
clears
stay
the
up this
way
late.
for
Well,
all
he
of
must be
us.
next,
So for
right?
the next 78
I don't think
days,
so, unless they're going
need to
in an
work
order that I
harder
don't.
than we
Isn't
ever
the
have.
torture
We need
almost
to
over?
beat back the dangers that Trump and his allies
I mean, according
pose
to the
the
list
rule
here,
of
they have a
law
lot
and
more,
our
but maybe
way
they
of
went
life.
in a different order
Don't
than they
get
publicized
distracted
originally.
or complacent.
That's possible.
Talk to your friends.
Because why
and
would Jamie
neighbors.
Raskin come after
Volunteer.
Hillary? That makes no
Be
sense.
proud
It doesn't make
champions
any
for
sense.
the
It doesn't
truth
make any
and
sense.
for the
James Clyburn
country that we
He's going to
all
come after
love.
her?
Yeah. It's like putting like Jason Aldean after Johnny Cash.
I want my
You know?
grandchildren and their grandchildren to know I was here
like-
at this
it's like
moment,
putting,
that
Carrot
we
Top
were here,
after-
and that
after Johnny
we were
Cash.
with Kamala Harris
Um,
every step of the way. This is our time,
Oh, no,
America.
because it's going to be Jill
This is when we
Biden.
stand up.
Ah,
This is
then
when
Joe
we
Biden,
break
right.
through. The future is here. It's in our grasp. Let's go win it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, who believes this? Who believes this
Oh,
anymore?
shit.
Who buys into this? Yeah.
That was close. That was almost 5 seconds. Caught me sleeping there.
Like, it's just incredible. That's what I keep saying about these conventions. It's like when I watch cop shows now, because there's this enormous gap. I saw them as a child, and then it's just not my thing, so I didn't watch them over the decades. And when I see them now, I'm like, wow, they're exactly the same still.
Right.
Like, they're exactly the same. That's how I feel watching this. I'm like, really? Like, they're still talking that shit? Really? Like, they're gonna go up there like nothing, you know, like it's 1985. It's so
Right.
bizarre. Yes, and we care about the workers, not like the other people. And all you gotta do is put us in office, and we're gonna do it. Ah!
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is moronic enough to still see America that way, as you were saying. Like, how could you believe any of this now?
Yeah,
Like,
no, exactly. Like, how could you be this invested?
Haven't you seen? They blamed the fucking unelected parliamentarian. George Bush faced a very similar situation. He fired the parliamentarian.
Right.
That's why we can't increase the minimum wage, because of the parliamentarian. You didn't learn anything from that, but as we often point out, the people in that room don't need the minimum wage raise, so they don't really give a shit.
Okay, so it is Clyburn. So this is going way behind schedule. So the order is right. Oh my God, what a nightmare! This fucking guy.
They're gonna have to get Joe Biden that fucking real good ketamine tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
This marks the first time in 48 years that I did not personally select the Democratic nominee with my endorsement. But I'm okay with that anyway. It all worked out in the end.
South Carolina, thank you.
Look at this. Look at this.
4 years ago, Americans were experiencing high anxieties and great uncertainties. A deadly virus raged, schools closed.
You know, I don't want to never mind. I shouldn't say that. Never mind.
Donald Trump
You don't want to do what now? We're gonna say something that's gonna get us kicked off YouTube.
Yeah, I'm gonna quote Biden. I shouldn't. I'll save it for tomorrow. I had a good line, but I'll save it for the Rumble stream tomorrow.
All right, save it for the Rumble stream.
In leadership.
That's where
new leaders.
Our Rumble stream is like our shadow self. It's like
I'll give everybody a hint. I'll give everybody a hint. I'll hint at what I'm getting at in a way that's very benign and won't get us in trouble. They all look pretty young tonight.
In the American can-do spirit.
Everybody looks good. Everybody looks fresh. That's all.
Kamala,
that's all I'm going to say.
We reduced the price of prescription drugs.
Kurt Metzger knows what I'm talking about.
Roads and bridges.
He would know what I mean if he were here.
Adrenochrome? Is that where you're going with that?
Yeah,
Thanks to Joe and Kamala, we are honoring our heroes in uniform and expanded benefits to over 1 million veterans. Thanks to Joe and Kamala, Make It in America is no longer just a slogan, but a movement that is bringing millions of manufacturing jobs back to America.
See how, because we haven't had Marcel Dixon on in a while. Was he have like the poorest district in America?
We owe him
one of the poorest districts in America. How long's he been in office? Pretty long time, right?
And we're all grateful.
Oh yeah, he's been around
for one of the best decisions he made, selecting Kamala Harris as his vice president and endorsing her to succeed him. I often say that we are but the
he
sum
was the
of
biggest
our experience.
recipient of
In the introduction
insurance
of my
industry
memoir,
money, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, big health insurance guy.
All my experiences have not been pleasant, but I consider all of them to be blessings. So has been the case with Kamala. Her experiences have prepared her for this moment.
Did he say?
Kamala Harris is a true battle-tested leader, a district attorney, attorney general, senator, and vice president who gets things done.
Oops, what I did.
While Donald Trump has been bragging about how he overturned Roe, Kamala has been fiercely advocating for the
Something going on in the audience?
Of reproductive
Yeah, where are the
freedom.
uncommitted? Where are the protesters in the hall?
Yeah, where are they?
Out for himself
Some fucking bum rush that stage, man.
Kamala has been fighting to lower costs for all Americans. And while Trump falsely pleads ignorance of Project 2025, which in my opinion
Something's going on in the audience. There's chatter.
2.0.
Is there?
Yeah.
So is there like protesting?
I hope I didn't just delete
Kamala
it.
has been offering the American people enlightened proposals and visionary leadership. Having grown up in a parsonage, I often look to the good book for understanding and guidance. As 2 Corinthians informs,
The whole ball game.
we are troubled
Corinthians 2.
on every
That's
side.
the whole ball game.
It's called
yes.
Corinthians
Not
2.
distressed.
Did he get that from Trump?
We are perplexed,
Well, he said
but
it's
not
called the
in
2nd
despair.
Corinthians. It's Corinthians 2. Everybody knows that.
persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed. Our great democracy has been tested, and so has the basic goodness of the American people. But our resolve to remain a great country with freedom and justice for all will not falter. We will continue our march toward a more perfect union, united in our common purpose and emboldened by our resolve to elect Kamala Harris and
Pete
Tim
Walker,
Walz as the next
you may
president
be right,
and vice
but I
president
think
of
they
these
like
United
to
States
see
of
themselves
America.
as people
Thank
who
you,
care about
and
them.
Godspeed.
Yeah.
They like to see themselves that
Hey, you know,
way.
that
as
was
being
great.
the virtuous ones.
His speech was mercifully short, at least.
At least he did that. Well, hey man, you know they're not paying him, so he's not going to spend a lot of time out there. You got to give him that health insurance money to get him to speak longer than that.
Yeah.
What a fucking piece of miserable shit. Like, no one would benefit from Medicare for all more than the black community that he pretends to speak on behalf of. And you get that insurance money and you come out against Medicare for all, and then you're going to come up there talking about freedom and opportunity. These people are really the scum of the fucking earth. And the people in that hall are the dumbest people in the fucking country. What a bunch of fucking creeps.
This is the Stormy Daniels.
Is that what it is?
I think so. Wow. Basil Beshkov.
You are literally putting credibly accused rapist Bill Clinton on stage in a prominent slot at this convention. The fuck are you even talking about with Stormy Daniels?
Yeah, Clinton's going. He's going night 3. They're doing. Yeah, everybody.
You gave a prominent slot to someone who is a confirmed serial molester and a credibly accused rapist. Why are you even talking about this?
Kevin likes Kathy Hochul. All right. No
Really?
accounting for taste. Yeah.
You're a sick fuck. You're a sick fuck, Kevin. I knew that about you.
So Taibbi, where was Taibbi streaming? Was he streaming to YouTube?
Well, I guess he was just streaming his show.
Yeah. We should have had him on. Yo, we should see if he wants to come on tomorrow. He should come on with us and do one of these. He would be great. He would be a lot of fun to do a Mystery Science Theater with.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make that happen. Maybe we could do it Wednesday night. I'm serious.
All right.
Why not?
I'll send him an email. Sure.
What worst he could tell us is go fuck yourselves.
Piss off. Yeah. He likes us though.
Yeah, he likes us. He might do it.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he will do it. Yeah, let's see if we can make that happen. This guy's wearing sneakers at Raskin. There he is. Yep, this is going as long as I suspected. So it's... Oh, my God. Okay. All right, so it's not that bad. All right, so it's Raskin. If they're short, if he keeps it merciful...
If they keep it short.
If they keep it short, we can get through this by 11 o'clock. Raskin,
okay.
Crockett...
I mean, remember, it's a different time zone. It's 9:19.
No, I know.
Convention.
But they're supposed to have the closing remarks by 10.
Welcome to the Freedom
Central.
Convention.
That's the plan. They'll probably run a little late.
And thank you for the beautiful weather, Chicago.
I will say, as
It's been a little
Chicago
rough
in
on
August
Capitol Hill,
goes,
where
the weather
it's
is
not
perfect.
just the heat, it's the stupidity. Now, we meet in this great city tonight.
Yeah, let's see if we can get Taibbi for
where
Wednesday
Abraham
night.
Lincoln was nominated
All right, I'll
in
email him.
1860 to save the Union from fanatical insurrectionists.
And where Franklin D. Roosevelt was renominated
Thank
by
you, Regan
Democrats
Tussle. That's very sweet. Appreciate
in
that.
1940
And congratulations
to defeat
on your boy.
fascist dictators. Now we fight in our time to defend our freedom and our democracy against the banana Republicans who have converted Lincoln's party into a dangerous cult of personality. You know, I'll never forget the pounding on the doors of the House chamber on January 6th, or the screams to follow. Hundreds of our police officers taunted and attacked. 140 of them wounded by extremists wielding baseball bats, steel pipes, even American flags. 5 people died that day, and 4 more of our officers took their own lives.
They will rally, stand up, be American.
All of this after Trump was defeated by more than 7 million votes by the great Joe Biden.
Hang on. So tomorrow, if I'm going to be at the thing at 7,
It
how
was
are we
after.
No, you're going to be at the thing is at, I thought the thing was at 5.
Claim raised
They said
by this
7 when they
sore
were on
loser
today.
who does not
Well,
know
we gotta confirm
how
that,
to take
'cause
no
that would
for
be-
an answer from American voters,
I thought it was 5 o'clock.
courts,
We'll have to message.
or
I mean, they could have gotten it
American
wrong.
women.
They could have gotten it wrong. Oh, we'll play it by ear. We'll see.
Remember what the mob chanted as they stormed the Capitol and injured our officers? Hang Mike Pence. Someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution.
Is he having a Biden moment?
Someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's
he forgot
job
his lines.
under Article 2 of the Constitution is to take care that the laws are faithfully executed, not that the vice president is executed.
Oh, that would have been a good joke if you nailed it, but you didn't. You forgot it. That's a shame. That would have been. That would have really brought the house
I
down.
understand since he got the
more than
cancer,
2
occasionally in the
dozen
middle of
officials
speeches, he literally sees
from
the
Donald
Grim
Trump's
Reaper.
own administration.
Oh, hey, look!
in
Finally, we
denouncing
got a
him, an
$50.
historical record.
Finally, a cowbell-worthy
And Pence is the
chat.
first vice
There you go.
president
Jesus Christ,
in more
working
than
for
2
pennies over here.
centuries
Yeah,
not
pennies.
to support the
Or
president
pay. We
he
can
served
make more
with
money working at
in a
fucking
general
Chipotle.
election.
Yeah, we were about to
And by the way,
need a new parliamentarian.
Do you understand why there was a sudden
Thank you for that,
job
Lou.
opening
A
for
lot of
running
clubbers
mate
and ravers
on the
take it.
GOP
I don't think
ticket?
Biden is taking it. It is a dissociative
They tried to
anesthetic with
kill your
psychedelic qualities.
predecessor.
Actually, come to think of it, maybe that is what they're
They tried to
fucking
kill
Biden
him
with.
because
Exactly.
he would not follow Trump's
Exactly.
plan to destroy and nullify the votes of millions of Americans. Your votes, Pennsylvania.
Oh, you
Your
didn't
votes,
do that
Michigan.
by installing Kamala Harris without a single vote?
Your votes, Georgia.
You didn't neutralize
Nevada.
the vote.
Arizona.
Hey, Jimmy's here. Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Hey,
We're
Russell.
gonna go back
Russell
to the
skipped.
days of
He had to do this instead of
election suppression
go out to
and
eat with you tonight.
insurrection.
I've been bitching about it all.
Yeah, he's been complaining about it the whole time. If it's any comfort. It's any
Like
consolation.
this instead of a nice dinner. Yeah.
He did have a nice street corn from a Mexican. Local Mexican.
I did go to a local place where the food was good. There was at least that. Oh my God! If I had gone there and the food
Well,
sucked on top of
Well,
it,
1 week after that
be a cranky
beautiful
bastard
day,
right
as Trump calls it, the
I
Republicans,
think he's in remission. I think he's
10
better. You know, good for
Republicans
him, obviously.
joined
But yeah, I
all
think
of the
he's
Democrats
better.
to
No,
impeach Trump
that was
for
that
the
pause.
worst high
That was that
crime and
pause.
misdemeanor
Sometimes death
ever committed
appears in front
by
of
a
him.
president inciting
throws him
insurrection
off.
against our own Constitution. Make no mistake, a man who uses fraud, theft, and violence to take power will commit any crime to keep it. And now Trump's promising to pardon hundreds of his fellow criminal convicts and insurrectionists.
Oh, my God.
He
I think
calls
every
for,
single
quote,
person in the country who
termination
cares about this
of all
is in that
rules,
room.
regulations, and
I'm a
articles,
dissident.
even those in the Constitution. My friends, are we the people going to let Donald Trump terminate our Constitution and obliterate the blessings of liberty for our posterity? That's right. We're going to elect Kamala Harris. We're going to elect the career prosecutor and inspiring public servant and Coach Walls. And we're going to defeat Donald Trump, the career criminal and
like a spike in my
incorrigible
head.
recidivist con man and his pet chameleon, J.D. Vance. And America, let's make it a landslide so big that Donald Trump and his kangaroo court Supreme Court justices cannot even try to steal it. Let's make every vote count. Let's make sure every vote is counted. Let's let freedom ring, and let's let democracy work in America.
See, that was a little longer than it should have been, but that was not too bad.
Yeah, but not terrible. Not terrible.
No, not terrible. All right, good job.
I mean, I think they put Hillary.
Suco, that's the name of it, Jimmy says. It was divine. Mexican fondue with mushrooms. Stole the show.
You know, I mean, we're always defending you, man. We're always like, no, he's actually a very nice guy, and now you're making a liar out of me.
Why? Because he's rubbing it in
He's
about the
rubbing it
mushrooms?
in. He's rubbing it in. You know, that's sadistic, Jimmy. It's very sadistic. That's sadistic behavior. That's sociopathic.
I had spaghetti with
frankly.
garlic and oil.
Yeah.
Our nation will hire
Yeah. Look at poor Keaton.
a commander.
Think of poor Keaton over
I
there.
really slummed it tonight. Well, my kids wanted spaghetti, and so we didn't really have anything else to make it with, and I didn't have time because we did, we're two epic shows today.
Well, she was in college at an HBCU.
Between every speaker, they got to come out and tell us about Kamala's personal. She's only 59 years old. How much could there be to say? She's relatively young.
The other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy and the family.
Yeah, she's young. She's a spring chicken like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like me.
Is Jerry Nadler
So-
next? No, who is next? Actually, come to think of it, Jasmine. Is this Jasmine? I don't know who this is. Is this Jasmine Crockett? I get Jasmine Crockett confused with Stacey Plaskett. They sound similar, right? Plaskett, Crockett sound like the same name to me.
Oh,
I think this
they're
is-
not putting Plaskett on. Is
No,
that Plaskett?
but
That's
no,
not
no,
Plaskett.
no. I get them confused. Plaskett, Crockett. They both
Oh,
sound
I
like
see,
they're both like Johnny Appleseed
Yeah.
names.
I mean, Plaskett is
like Davy Crockett.
Fucking horrible. So that's the kind of person they like to put on stage at these things. But she only represents the
fundido.
Virgin Islands. Mexican fondue is called queso fundido. All right. So you see, Jimmy, you see. Not only are you being emotionally and psychologically insensitive, you're being culturally insensitive right now.
I guess this
the
isn't.
problem. While Kamala Harris is fighting for our reproductive rights to be restored.
Hang on, you're fucking bringing up the death penalty
She is also
when you're
the leader we
promoting
need
somebody
on the
who
global
tried to
stage.
suppress DNA evidence.
She helped secure the
keep an
release
eye on
of
death
Americans
row. You're
wrongfully
literally
detained
bringing
in
that
Russia.
up. Wow.
At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin,
Oh,
and MAGA holds
I didn't have that on my
legislation
bingo
hostage
card yet. I'm
here
surprised
at
we didn't hear
home.
Vladimir Putin
Critical
yet.
resources
You heard
to
it at
secure
the
the border,
at the park today. The
military
Kamala
aid to
voters were all
Ukraine,
about
and even
Putin.
the farm bill. Well, he's been America's
who
nightmare.
is she? Do we even know who this is?
Yeah, this must be, what's her name? Jasmine
America.
Crockett?
Looking at the two choices before you, who would you hire? Donald Trump
And who is
Jasmine
that?
Crockett from Texas.
or Kamala
Then
Harris?
there's another one I've never heard of
she a
next.
Congresswoman?
Yeah,
Like,
Congresswoman, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Then there's another one I've never heard of next,
Harris
Grace
has a
Meng.
resume.
Have you ever heard of Grace Meng?
Donald
I don't
Trump
know who
has
that
a
is.
rap sheet.
No.
She presides over the Senate.
Oh, my God.
All right,
Well,
enough
he
already.
keeps our national secrets next
late.
to his thinking chair.
All right, so listen, man. Can we figure
Y'all
out
know
when
what I
this
said
thing
that
is
other
tomorrow
time.
night? Because I
In
really
real
want to go
Lago.
to dinner with Jimmy. And
Well,
I'm
Donald
hoping
Trump
we
wants
can
to put our
fit it in.
1787 Constitution
I'm hoping we can get that
through
in.
his
I don't know what
Project
his plans are.
2025 paper shredder and make every day January 6th. Kamala Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America.
He wants to make every
In the
day
real
January
world,
6th.
This wouldn't even be close. But this election is.
Wow.
Don't make a mistake. We are the
6 p.m.
underdogs.
Central. So that would be
In this
7
fight.
p.m. Eastern.
Even though
Oh,
there's
yeah,
only
so...
one
Oh,
person
wait a minute.
qualified.
Yeah, so that's fucked
Only
up. So
one
I fucked up
person
when I
who's done
put
the
that
work
on the...
and who has delivered
Yeah, it
the
was my
results.
bad then. I fucked up when
And
I put it on the
she
schedule
needs
because I said on
you.
our tentative schedule 5
needs
p.m.
your one
Eastern, but
vote
I got the time
this
zones
November.
confused. We're
So
an hour
it's
later.
7 p.m. Eastern at 6 p.m. here.
Yeah. All right,
All
so
right,
we're
so
probably
we
not going to
definitely
do
wanna
this tomorrow
cover-
night. We're probably not going to watch Barack Obama tomorrow night. I mean, who the
Some
fuck
of you
cares
know
about
a
that
little bit
anyway?
of my history. Some of you
him.
don't. So let me tell you.
I would much rather cover
I was a public defender.
Well,
workers'
obviously,
strike
yeah.
back
What,
in
you
that,
can't tell Shama,
Yeah.
hey, we can't make it. We gotta.
Sorry, we
watch
got to
Michelle
cover Barack Obama.
I did
Barack-
criminal defense
Barack and
as
Michelle
well
are
as
on.
practice civil
Yeah.
rights law for almost 2 decades.
All right,
I
so
know
there you
a
go.
good
I mean, you
prosecutor when I
guys,
see
you know,
one.
you childless cat lady
Kamala
types, you
Harris
eat late
is
at
the kind
night,
of prosecutor
right? Because you don't have children. You know, so you could go to dinner after that, right?
We could.
You know, you go to dinner at 7:30. Yeah, that's dinner time for people with lives.
Attorney General in the nation to
So there you go. All right, so
order
that's
that
fine.
should work.
officers
That should work.
wear
That's work.
body
All right,
cams, and
so
she
Jimmy,
started
if
the
you're watching,
Back
good
on Track
news.
program to reduce
I'm
recidivism.
available tomorrow.
I'm available.
Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say, I did not copy out for her speech. I just want y'all to know.
Enough already. I mean, you take this is too long.
She walked into that courtroom and said,
She's feeling
Kamala
herself
Harris
over there.
for the people. And she meant that.
She likes being up there. She's getting off on that crown. It's the biggest crowd she's ever been
Many
in
of you
front
know her credentials. But what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume. Is that she sees the humanity in everyone. She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I
She
first
locked
got
up
to
6 of my
Congress,
cousins.
I
But
wasn't
it was the
sure
ones
I
I
made the
didn't
right
like.
decision. The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and the Oversight Committee was unhinged.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what they said, too.
I was going through all of this when I visited the Vice President's residence for the first time.
Oh, so tomorrow then is not that bad a
Vice
day.
President
Tomorrow's not
Harris
that
for our
rough a
official
day because we
photo.
got the patron show with Kit,
She turned to
and
me.
then we have
You
the
really
Shama
got
event.
to. You really got
What's
to
wrong?
pace yourself with these things. Like that was definitely
Mind you,
because
we've
you're talking
never
about.
met.
I never sat
But she
down
saw right through me.
from 10 a.m.
She saw the distress.
Yeah.
You know,
I
guess I
immediately
left at
began
about
crying.
Yeah.
That's
So I
7
thought
hours
tomorrow we were
standing,
gonna
man.
have.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was because I got the time zones confused. I thought tomorrow we had a 2 o'clock, a 5 o'clock, and an 8:30. It turns out we just have a 2 and a 7. That's not that bad. That's doable.
And the most
We can swing
powerful
that.
woman in the world wiped my tears and listened.
You know, I mean, this for these folks. This is what you got to remember, man. This is a career.
Oh yeah,
This is
well
a
these are
career.
auditions. Like Barack Obama
It's
nailed it,
auditions, yeah.
and he got to be president because he nailed
It's
one of these.
so hard
You know,
for
he
me
was
to
the
say.
keynote. I mean, she's not the keynote, but you know, these are
She
auditions.
then
This is you
said,
got up
among
there,
other
you
things,
do, you
"You're
know, you're set.
exactly where God wants you.
Yep. This is
Your
why the
district
founders
chose you
did not
because they
want
believe in
political
you.
parties because
So do
they knew that it would lead to this. Where the political party is not about serving the public, it's about serving the political party. That's it. It's a career. She's auditioning in front of Nancy, in front of Barack. If
The
they like
next
what she
month,
does,
I went
they
viral
hook
for the
her
first
up.
of many times to come. For hitting Republicans with a dose of their own medicine. That brief but impactful interaction gave me my legislative legs, and I've been running ever since.
And you know, as we saw today when we spoke to those Harris supporters that were at the
The question
rally,
before us
they don't know anything.
Will a vindictive,
They don't know anything
vile
because
villain
they only
violate
get this
voters'
kind of
vision?
information and they're completely incurious about going outside of it.
You know, if you're
Like
certified, sorry, go ahead. Just had an
We
idea.
who do this all the time, we assume everyone knows that Kamala kept people locked up beyond their senses. But no, these women who supported Kamala, it was very obvious to me they weren't playing it
Yeah,
off.
they didn't know that.
They had never heard of that before. They had never heard anything about it. Well, look at this speech. Look at all these speeches. She was a prosecutor as if that's a positive. So
Right.
of course,
She locked up
people-
the murderers only.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So of course, if this is where you get your information,
If only we are brave
you're
enough
gonna have
to
no
be.
idea.
Kamala Harris showed me that light. And America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
Okay, so because we came into this with my battery pretty drained, it's pretty low. So I'm gonna have to plug in the my auxiliary charger. So I'm gonna have to go to like off headphones because there's only one C port in these.
Gonna maybe wear home from the hospital.
Where to go?
There's your little.
All right, hang on, I'll be back.
All right. Sparky, thanks for the $5. It's not unusual to feature people being groomed as future establishment stooges. That's right, Sparky. Correct. Here we go. I'm going to resist the urge to rub flaming hot Cheeto dust in my eyes when Obama gives his diatribe of BS. Well, luckily, you guys will dodge the bullet. I mean, if you want to watch, like, we're not going to cover that tomorrow. Because
we're gonna cover
we have
Worker Strike Back.
Yeah, we're gonna do Worker Strike Back. All right. Let's see here. Let's see who's up next. Oh, this is the video. All right. Now, next is another one I've never heard of. Grace Meng. I don't know who that is. Anybody hear of Grace Meng here? Not me. Yeah, let's see here. All right.
Okay. All right. How's my sound?
Not good. Believe me, not good.
Not good?
No.
Oh shit.
It sounds all fuzzy.
Didn't we test this before?
Yeah, but something's not right. All right.
For us, it was different.
Oh,
We were told with 100% certainty we would lose our baby girl, Willow, and we were sent home. For 3 days, we waited until Amanda was sick enough to receive standard abortion care. Eventually, Amanda's temperature spiked. She was shaking, disoriented, and crashing. I don't remember what I threw into our bag that day, only that instead of welcoming Willow, I was hoping Amanda's life could be saved. I'm here tonight because the fight for reproductive rights isn't just a woman's fight. This is about fighting. This is about fighting for our families. And as Kamala Harris says, our future.
right, how's my sound now?
No good.
No good?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It might be
What's
because
going on with it?
I don't know.
Every time
It
I
sounds
share
all
our story, my
Because
heart
we have tested this before.
for the baby girl we
And the
wanted
sound was
desperately,
good. All right,
for
what
the
about now?
doctors and nurses who couldn't help
Did we
me
test it when you were
deliver her
charging it
safely,
before?
No.
who feared he would lose me
I mean,
too.
do you think that that's it?
Maybe, I don't know.
But I was lucky.
Hmm.
I lived. So I'll continue
No, it couldn't be
sharing my
that, man,
story,
because the whole time we
standing
were
with
doing the
women
stream
and
before, I
families
had it on the
across the
charger.
country.
Um,
Today, because of Donald Trump, more than 1 in 3 women of reproductive age in America lives under an abortion ban.
yeah, you might want to log out and log back in.
Let's try
A
that,
second
because that
Trump
doesn't make any
term
sense, because
would
I
rip
did it
away
this way
even
all
more
day,
of our rights.
and there was nothing wrong with it.
Passing a national abortion ban.
All right, let's try that.
Letting states monitor pregnancies and prosecute doctors, restricting birth control and fertility treatments. We cannot let that happen. We need to vote as if lives depend on it, because they do.
2 years ago, my husband and I were expecting our second child. Our daughter Lauren couldn't wait to be a big sister. I was getting ready for her 4th birthday party when something didn't feel right. 2 emergency rooms sent me away. Because of Louisiana's abortion ban, no one would confirm that I was miscarrying. I was in pain, bleeding so much my husband feared for my life. No woman should experience what I endured, but too many have. They write to me saying, what happened to you happened to me.
All right, try talking now.
They're miscarrying,
Testing,
scared to tell
testing,
anyone,
testing.
Better.
even
Yeah.
their doctors.
All right, so it was the switch for
Our
some
daughters
reason.
deserve better. America deserves better. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will fight for reproductive rights and our freedom and our shared future.
So far, the only nod to Gaza tonight was from AOC, who said that, she's going to pursue a ceasefire.
Growing up, I was
That's
the
it. Other than that,
girl.
zero.
Varsity soccer captain, cheerleading
So what?
captain.
This is just a series
homecoming
of women
queen,
talking about abortion?
About abortion,
survivor.
yeah. So and that's what made me think of it, because look, this is stuff that's going to hurt the GOP. It has hurt Republicans. It will hurt Republicans again.
I was raped
But again,
by my
you put it
stepfather
in
after
perspective.
years of sexual abuse.
Just like what's her
At
name?
age
Sana
12,
said, a school doesn't
took
matter
my
if there are no
first
schools in
pregnancy
Gaza.
test.
And
it was positive.
women are having C-sections without anesthesia in Gaza
That
now.
was the first time I was ever told.
Like it's
you
just, and there's no reference. Literally, AOC. That was the only reference I've heard in the last 2 hours.
Imagine not
Which is
having
pretty
choice.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
But today,
Yeah.
that's the reality for many.
Literally, a
girls
group
across
of
the country
imprisoned,
because of Donald
colonized
Trump's
brown
abortion
people
bans.
being just murdered, shot like fish in a barrel, and the
He
party
calls
of
it a beautiful thing.
social justice has
What
nothing
is
to
so
say. AOC was the
beautiful
only one,
about a child having
and very
to
very
carry
brief.
her
yeah.
parents' child.
Very, very minor mention of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
There
hey,
are
they're
other
not
survivors
wrong.
out there
They're not wrong,
who
as
have no
we've seen
options.
with the
I want you to know
bloviating
that we
Cenk
see you.
Uygur et al.
We hear
just
you.
flipping to support Kamala. They don't have to address it. Why would they?
No,
Why
they
would
don't.
The brain dead morons that support this party and these figures.
Kamala Harris
They don't
will
need
sign
to
a national law to
persuade them to
restore
vote
the
for
right
them. They
to an
made
abortion.
that very clear. Say a couple things about free school lunches, and boom.
Right.
It's a shame about Gaza.
Look at the tears,
What are
not
you-
a
what
dry
are you
eye
gonna
in the
do?
house.
She will fight for every woman and every
So
girl,
fucking stupid.
even those who are not fighting for her.
So, there was a big protest today. There's protests happening right now.
Yeah,
you wouldn't
they
know
broke
it to
down
watch
the wall.
this.
Good for them.
Yeah.
And now
Would you know it to watch
I
this,
am
though? You wouldn't know it
honored
to watch this.
to
If you just watched
introduce
this.
another
No,
champion
they
for
don't give
women.
a shit.
No.
And
A
I guess
leader
that's how they're
who's
going to
fought for
approach it.
me
They're just going to ignore it.
And
Yep.
for so many
And why
others.
wouldn't they?
Governor Andy Bashir.
And you said anyone knows who Grace Ming is. That's unbelievable. You too. That's a bad enough cover that it might not trigger a copyright. This one. Who is this one?
So, does your health insurance cover vasectomies? I mean, I guess you don't need one.
I don't need one. It's
But
moot.
but would it cover it?
Probably, I would assume.
You think so?
I mean, how much do they do a vasectomy for? What is it, like
I mean,
$65?
It depends. I mean, there's guys who do it at the Korean spa.
Yeah, there's guys who could do it.
But
Yeah,
you
there's
what,
guys
you
who could
know.
probably do it for $40.
Yeah. Just got to make sure that they sterilize it in the fire.
You never saw the Coen Brothers, the inside. Oh, this is Andy Bashir, right?
Truth.
Is that who that
Donald
is?
Trump brags about tearing a
So
constitutional
close.
right
So
away
close.
from Hadley and every other woman and
You see the
girl
Coen
in
Brothers,
our
the
country.
Inside Llewyn Davis?
That's
Did you see
why
that
we
one?
must tear away any chance he can
You would
ever
love
be
it. It was about
Yes,
Dave
I
Van
did
Ron.
see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. Yes.
When his girlfriend or something, she needs an abortion, and she keeps hounding him for it. Like toward the beginning of the movie, she keeps bringing up the need abortion. He says, "All right, he says, I'll call my guy or something like that." All right, I'll call a guy. I know a guy. You know a guy? Do the abortion? You know a guy.
Girls like Hadley.
I mean, back then, that's pretty Roe v. Wade.
That fails any
You did
test
have to know
of
a guy.
humanity.
Yeah, to know a
Any
guy.
test of basic
A lot of
decency.
people back then
Any
used to go to
test of
Puerto
whether
Rico
you
for
have
abortions.
Any underlying empathy. Thankfully, this extremism is being soundly rejected all over our country. In Kentucky, we put reproductive freedom on the ballot last November, and I beat Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell's hand-picked candidate by more than 5 percentage points. This November, we're going to beat them again. Elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and protect reproductive freedom. Folks, Donald Trump appointed the Supreme Court justices who got us into this mess. His Project 2025 goes even further. Here's the thing. Trump and Vance simply don't believe in your freedom. Trump says people are
Yeah, we were
absolutely
talking about
thrilled
this when we were on the
that women have
street
their
with
basic
Jimmy
rights
and
eliminated.
Deanne and Kit.
J.D. Vance says women should stay in violent marriages. And that pregnancies
Anyone who gets
resulting from
elected
rape are
president can just
simply
enact their
inconvenient.
agenda.
Their
Not only
policies
why
give
hasn't
rapists
anyone
more rights
done it
than their
yet,
victims.
but doesn't
That's
that
not
mean the Democrats are
inconvenient, it's
willfully
just
not
plain
giving
wrong.
Democratic voters what they promised them? I mean, if that's all you have to do, you get elected, you can just enact your whole agenda.
And a woman
Why haven't they
grieving
done it?
a non-viable pregnancy shouldn't be required to
question.
carry it to term just to listen
New
to her
Bird
child
Zone, Chris
die
Bishop. Good to
or
see you
hear
again,
no
Chris
sound
Bishop.
at
What's
all.
up, Chris?
All women should have the freedom to make their own decisions. Freedom over their own bodies.
I think
Freedom
everyone
about
who
whether
is
to
not
pursue
in that
IVF.
room feels that
Freedom
way.
about whether to have children at all.
It always boggles my mind because watching this, it hasn't changed. Like
we
these are the
treat
same
people
conventions they've
transcends
been
party lines.
doing really
It
since
goes
the
right
Clinton
to the
era.
heart
Like the
of who
Clinton
we
era
are.
was really when
My
these
faith
things
teaches me the
became
golden rule
purely
that I am to love
infomercials
my neighbor
with
as
no
myself.
real
And the parable of the
political
Good Samaritan
drama
says
to
we are
them where they're
all
just
each other's
infomercials.
neighbors.
So they've been
So I
like
want
this
anyone
for
watching
over
tonight,
30 years,
Republican,
really.
Independent,
What I don't
Democrat,
understand
to know that
is,
you are
given what's
welcome
happened
here.
to the country in that 30 years, how anyone could take it seriously anymore.
Right.
We believe in America where we live out our
All right, so it looks like maybe they skipped Grace
in
Ming.
anger politics.
So after this is
Yeah,
Warnock.
fuck her. Nobody knew who she was
and
anyway.
move
Yeah, no
beyond
one knew
this
who she
us
was.
versus
That's
them
probably- that
by
was probably
remembering
their
we are
thinking.
all Americans.
Warnock, Chris Coons, Joe Biden.
Oh my God, I'm gonna
That's how
fucking
Joe
put a bullet
Biden
in my
and
head.
Kamala Harris lead. They
Like,
both called to ask how they
Taibbi's
could
no
help
dummy.
Kentucky in recovering from natural disasters. They helped us improve
He
our
went- he
roads,
went and got
our
himself
bridges,
some good
and
scotch.
invested in our people.
He's chilling
They didn't
now in
ask
the
me
hot tub.
who Kentuckians voted for. They asked me what Kentuckians needed, and folks, they delivered. Kamala Harris gets it. She knows we must move beyond anger, extremism, and division, that everyone has dignity and deserves respect. America, we're going to win. And we're going to win by staying true
at
to
this
our
rate,
values of compassion,
Biden is going to make his
empathy, and
debate
doing right
performance
by
look
our neighbors.
coherent.
I'm so proud to be all in for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Thank you.
Very good.
Please welcome
dear
Georgia
Lord.
Senator Raphael Warnock.
We're getting there, folks. Getting there. All right, there we go. Let's see here what he's got. What do you got?
Hello, America. Thank you so very much. On January 5th, 2021, the people of Georgia did an amazing thing. They sent a black kid who grew up in public housing and the Jewish son of an immigrant to the United States Senate in one fell swoop. And among those Georgians was my then 82-year-old mother. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia. Do you know where that is? It's way across Georgia.
All of these speeches, they're all like the old Monty Python sketch. There were 12 of us living in a hole, and we'd have to walk 17 miles to school. And the whole time, they'd be beating you with a sledgehammer every time you took a
else's
step.
Cotton and somebody else's tobacco, picked her youngest son to be a United States Senator. This is my America. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, America, for raising your voice and using your vote. A vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children, and our prayers are stronger when we pray together.
I mean that's refreshing.
So
to be
together,
honest, because it's as likely to yield results.
Together we flipped the Senate, held the House, and we sent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Together we vaccinated our citizens, we fortified our cities and our towns, and we stood by our small businesses. Together we set out to heal the land.
What's going on with the prompter? Are they
A
fucking with the
nation
prompters?
besieged by a deadly pandemic and beset by the awful and divisive rhetoric of a man too small for the office entrusted him or the task set before him.
Excuse me.
I think they are
The day
crapping
after
out
my
with
January
the
5th
monitor. I think
election,
Yeah, they seem
that's
to
probably
be
what
having
happened
He
to
instigated an
Cancer
insurrection.
Boy.
a violent assault on our nation's capital and the peaceful transfer of power, all driven by the big lie. But behind the big lie was an even bigger lie. It is the lie that this increasingly diverse American electorate does not get to determine the future of the country. The lie and the logic of January 6th is a sickness. It is a kind of cancer that then metastasized into dozens of voter suppression laws all across our country. And we must be vigilant tonight because these anti-democratic forces are at work right now in Georgia and all across our country. And the question is, who will heal the land?
You are literally running
so,
someone
here
who
we
didn't
are,
get a
America.
single
Are you
vote for
ready?
the office. Who, when she stood for election, couldn't make it to
Are
the
you
first
ready to
stage.
stand up in this moral moment?
This is the party
Stand
defending
up for the best in
democracy.
the American covenant. Elections are about the character of a country. And we must decide, again, we are the latest generation of Americans who get to decide what kind of country we want to be. And we must choose between the promise
It got lost in the mail there.
of January 5th and the peril of January 6th. A nation that embraces a nation that embraces all of us or just
Oh,
some of us.
Flushing. It's my hometown.
Donald Trump's America is the America of January 6th.
Thank you. You're talking about the Jose Zoom call from
People who
the other
have
night?
no vision,
Yeah, that was fun. Thank
traffic
you
and
for
division.
coming.
Oh, she
Thank
He
wrapped
does
you
not
in
know
blushing.
how
Look
to
at
lead
that.
us, and so he wants to divide us. America made
So they
no
dissed
mistake.
Flushing?
Donald
Is
Trump
that what happened?
is a
I guess so.
plague on
They
the
dissed
American
Flushing.
conscience.
Excuse me.
You know, the way you're yawning, you would think you have a newborn.
Yeah.
He is a clear and present threat to the precious covenant we share with one another. And yes, I saw him holding the Bible.
All right, folks, it's Monday. It's Monday. Not many people are watching this. I know this is,
and
like, you know, like you
endorsing
said,
a
this is
Bible as
auditions,
if
you know.
it needed his
It's
endorsement.
Monday night.
What is it? They're all trying to climb the
He
corporate
should try
ladder.
reading it.
Yep.
I'll be your bitch.
So
It
Biden's
says,
going to
"Do
come on at, what,
justice,
11:30?
love kindness and walk humbly with your God.
Biden's going
He
to come
should
on at
try
this rate about
reading it. It says,
11:30,
"Love
right?
your
I mean, what they
neighbor
got?
as
No, they got
yourself." It says,
Coons,
"In
Joe
as much
Biden,
as you've
and
done
then
it unto the
I
least
mean,
of
if you
these,
notice,
you
in
have done it
general,
also
they
unto
try
me.
not to let him talk for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't
Because
imagine
bad
he's going to
things
go more than
happen.
10 minutes. It'd be 15 minutes.
Bad things happen when he goes longer than that.
I choose the American covenant. E pluribus unum, out of many one. I choose January 5th. I choose a nation that provides a path for ordinary people and gives every child
Oh, really?
a
Do you
chance.
now?
That's
Do
wonderful.
you now?
Terrific.
And that's Joe Biden's America. And he's been fighting for it for more than a half century.
Joe
President
Biden.
America is so
Joe
much
Biden
better
passed the
because
bankruptcy
of
bill.
You, a true patriot who has always put
That
the people
put
first.
generations of students into debt peonage.
Thank you, Joe.
That's Joe Biden. The senator from MBNA, they used to call him. Because he was so slavish to the credit card company's interests. That's what we're talking about.
I'm telling you, you're sticking with the under. I think you got it wrong, my friend. I think it's going to be over. I think it's going to be
think
over
so?
141 seconds. Yeah.
I mean, you could be right. You could be right.
All right, I'm taking the
Not
over.
only is that
You're taking the
Joe
over.
Biden's
You think
America,
you
that's
underestimate.
Kamala Harris's
Yeah, I'm
America.
taking the over.
You think it's going to go more than, what was it, 2 minutes and 21 seconds?
2 minutes and 21 seconds. That's the over-under on the standing ovation.
Yeah,
for
I
Joe
mean,
Biden.
maybe.
You got to make sure I have my timer ready.
These freaking drooling morons.
I should actually be able to put. I should put a timer on the screen, but I don't know how to do that.
Capping the cost of insulin to no
You
more
should,
than
actually.
Yeah, but how do I do that? I don't know. I should have anticipated that. Yeah, I'll just hold my phone up to the screen.
Extend it to everybody.
In fact, I will do
Together
that.
we passed
I'll hold
an
my phone up to the
infrastructure
screen.
bill, boosted American manufacturing and clean energy.
Reset.
And
Her husband looks like Chuck
in the
Schumer.
house that we all share together.
There you go. So if I hold this up,
And I've
we'll do a
got
system
news
test
for you.
now. Yeah,
We
if I
are
hold this up
just
like this,
getting started.
and I hit
Yeah, you can do
start,
that. You can do that. Sure.
there you go.
Are you ready to win this election?
Beautiful. That's a 221. It's unfortunately it shows the mirror image of it, but that's all right. We'll work with it. All right, I like this. All right,
Kamala Harris.
gives me something to look forward to on
All
this
right,
show.
somebody get the
Tim
fucking
Walz.
hook
Yeah, come on.
and get
the
this
new way
motherfucker off the stage.
We're not going back.
This is like the guy who used to call in from the Blair Witch cabin to our show, and we couldn't get rid of him.
I miss that guy. No, you know who I miss?
We
I
are
miss
the
the
United
real
States of
serial
America.
killer
We
who used to
always
call us
dream
Sweet
about the
Boys.
future.
I really miss that guy.
And so
But he never
forward,
call in. He was never
He
a
never
patron.
called in.
No,
He
no, he was
never
never a
called in.
patron.
rights
section.
because we
And
believe
threaten our
this
lives.
nation's room is too small and cramped a space for a woman, her doctor, and the United
You
States
Sweet
government.
Boys
That's
wouldn't
too many
talk
people
so
in the room.
tough in person. And then, oh, you remember Vinny?
Forward on worker
Remember
rights.
Vinny?
Yeah. Vinny was the lib, right?
Most people do not mind working.
Well,
they
yeah,
just
he
want
was
to
he
share
was
the
he was a
prosperity
lib
that
who
they are
used to
creating for others.
you
Forward
know, drop into the
on
comments
voting rights.
to
Forward
talk about how
on
much he hated
affordable
us
housing
and our show and how we're really, you know, closeted right-wingers. And, you know, I liked him so much that after a while it just took all the joy out of it because he would disappear for a couple months and I'd be like, Vinny, I thought you offed yourself, man. What's going on? Where you been? It just, he couldn't enjoy trolling us with that kind of response.
I'm inspired by the resilience of an American spirit.
Yeah, World War III would be welcome right now.
rebounded
Well,
from the pandemic.
don't look now.
And is holding
Right.
at bay the
Don't
forces
look
that
now.
are
You may
trying
get to
divide
test
us.
that theory
I'm inspired
sooner
tonight
than
by
you
the
think.
memory of my late father,
Some say we're already
a preacher and a jump
living
man.
in the opening salvos of World
Monday
War
through
III.
Friday,
I would be one of those.
Look at this guy. Keep going.
Yeah, he thinks
Put
quite
him
a
on the
lot
back
of
of
his
an old rig.
oratory.
But
Yeah.
on Sunday morning, the man who lifted broken cars lifted broken people
MLK,
who other
you're not,
people
buddy.
had
Get the
discarded
fuck
and
off
told
the
them that they were
stage.
God somebody.
Enough.
It's enough. It's 11 o'clock.
It's enough.
It's 10
We get
o'clock
it.
now.
We get it. People
Central
Time.
did this a
Discovered
lot better before you.
Strength in the broken places. A power made perfect in weakness.
You'll never be more than
And
a
so I'm
pale
convinced
imitation
that we can lift
the people
broken
that you're imitating
even
right
as
now.
we climb.
Go away.
I'm convinced tonight that we can heal sick bodies. We can heal the wounds that divide us. We can heal a planet in
Okay, so you
peril.
know why
We
this isn't
can
moving the way an
heal
MLK
the land.
speech is moving? Because you're just a corporate brand. That's all you are. You're not actually fighting for
And in a
principles.
strange way,
You're propagandizing for a political
in a
party
strange way,
that doesn't actually do anything for the people
pandemic
that you're
taught us
claiming
how.
to care about.
People
That's
have a
why
lot of-
you're boring.
airborne disease
They have a lot of energy in the room. They're able
means
to
that
stand
I
up
have
and
a
shake their
personal
fist.
stake in the health of my neighbor. If she's sick, I may get sick also. Her health care is good for my health.
Yo, I need to take some of these turkesterone supplements
I'm
that
just
guy
trying to
sent
tell
me.
you that
Who
we
wants
are
to
Yeah,
sell
take
them.
'em, man.
I should take a couple of these. See how
Fuck
they...
it. I
our
look, man, I
humanity.
don't like to tell you this, but
As a
I
cult,
delete the emails of people calling
I
you
need
soy
my
boy before
neighbor's
you can see
children
them.
to be okay
Yeah.
so that
lot
my
of people
children
have that
will
comment.
be okay.
I got
I
it. The
need
guy sent us some
all of my
supplements. He
neighbor's
wants us to
children
try 'em
to be okay.
and then advocate for them.
Poor inner city children in Atlanta and poor
Yeah, do you
children
feel
of
like you have low
Appalachia. I
testosterone?
need the
'Cause
poor
you're
children
cranking out a
of
lot of
Israel
kids for
and the
somebody
poor
with low
children
testosterone.
No, this ain't just a testosterone thing. This is a, it's supposed to give you, it's supposed to give you a little pick-me-up. It's, ginseng. It's energy.
I need American American
I see.
children
I
on
see.
both sides of the track to be okay. Because we are all God's children. And so let's stand together. Let's work together. Let's organize together.
Is Sean Ono
Let's
there?
pray together. Let's stand together. Let's heal the land. God bless you.
I think
thank
he would like
you.
this.
All right.
I mean, based on my conversation with him, seems like he should be there.
Hey, see what your friends think of this. The speeches, your lib friends on Facebook. What do they think of these speeches tonight?
Oh man.
Delaware Senator.
Oh, here's Chris Coons. All right.
I'm really not getting paid enough for this.
All right, so Coons is obviously a lifelong friend. This is the guy who cried when Biden dropped out, right? So he's a big friend of the family. So it'll be him, and then Jill, and then Joe.
Good evening, Chicago. Are there any Democrats in the room tonight? Folks, we are on the verge of making history.
Yeah.
We are on the verge of an historic election. And I want to talk with you for just a few minutes.
Good, thank you.
About my
Well,
dear
I like
friend,
that. You're my
our
favorite
President,
guy so far.
Joe
Just a
Biden.
few minutes. That's it. You maybe 3-4 minutes.
Joe Biden's mom
great.
had a saying. You are defined by your courage, and you are redeemed by your loyalty. 4 years ago, I had the honor of helping introduce Joe Biden to our national convention. I spoke about Joe's faith, his love of family, his determination to restore the soul of our nation. Back in 2020, America was nearly flat on our back from a deadly pandemic, an economic
Oh,
collapse,
yeah, well, you got to take him up
and
on
then in
this.
January,
Yo,
an assault on
Russell.
our democracy. All
You
of
gotta,
this,
yeah, Trey
all
Dita.
of
That's the
this
one he was,
because
yeah,
the
you mentioned that
drama and
a previous
chaos
time, didn't you?
of our former president had
Yo.
knocked us down.
Listen, do you even have to
folks,
ask?
Joe Biden's courage,
You
There
know
go,
I'm
look
there,
at that.
man.
Boom.
Joe Biden's
You know I'm
faith
there.
in us, Joe Biden's
Thank you, Jimmy.
determination to heal the soul of our nation.
I don't
gave
know
us
if we
hope
should have announced that
and
to
gave us
everybody on
confidence.
the show, but
Yeah, it's actually
Someone who has himself been
Might
knocked
not have
down
been
by
the best.
life.
actually funny.
Time.
way
I
to
didn't
go
think of
about
that.
it, but okay.
Joe Biden knows the grit and determination of the American
That's true.
people.
I didn't think of that.
He
I
believed
mean, he
in
super
us.
chatted.
He,
But yeah,
Joe Biden
well,
helped
yeah,
us
I don't mean you.
get
I mean you.
back
Like, did you
up
really?
again.
Yes, thank you. I accept your gracious.
You may have to call him
Using
Mulligan
the
now. You may have to
incredible
go
skills
somewhere
he
else.
developed,
because that
many
it'll be
years
over
in
by
the
then.
US
Yeah,
Senate.
it has to be over by then, right?
Joe got passed
It'll
and
be over.
signed
Their
into
thing is
law
what local
the
time?
most consequential
6 o'clock. So it'll go 2 hours.
legislation
It'll go
of
an hour,
any
then there will be a
president
hangout,
in
and then
60 years.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
Helping
Thank
our
you, Jim.
veterans,
That's very nice of you.
Advancing
But you may have to
gun
go somewhere
safety.
else now because there may be people.
cutting
You
prescription
may have to go
drug
somewhere
prices,
else.
Yeah.
fighting
Might be
climate
somebody
change,
waiting out there with a crowbar
rebuilding
and a tire
bridges and
iron for
broadband,
us.
bringing manufacturing back to America.
All right, so this
Together,
is the thing.
Joe and Kamala helped
With the
rebuild our
heated
economy.
election
From the middle
season,
up, from the bottom up,
the
and the middle
really
out, not from the
dumb
top down.
libs who were left on my
And they
page
made our
who would
families
like
safer
in real
and our
time
country
be
stronger
posting about this.
at home and abroad.
I had another round of cuts.
Today,
Another
we are
round
so
of those people
much
leave my page.
better off
And I actually,
because
some
they
of them,
believed in
okay,
us,
so now you
in
don't
our
really
democracy.
go on Facebook.
No.
and our incredible
All right,
Thank you,
so,
Aaron.
First Lady
so
Jill
now
Biden.
because of the show,
Our
sometimes like the
incredible First
few
Lady,
really
Jill
retarded
Biden.
libs I had left, a couple of them
Our
were
incredible
trolling.
First Lady, Jill Biden,
Oh yeah.
Well, because you know they want to
was
take a
at
shot
Joe's
the guy
side
with the YouTube
every
show.
step of the way, fighting for education,
Like
advancing the
libs who
cancer
had
moonshot,
I'd never heard from.
determined to improve
Started like chiming
women's
in
health care,
on my posts.
honoring military
So I got rid of
families.
some of them because it was getting annoying.
Joe and Jill, together, you have done so much for us. And there's so much more you will do and we can do together. Mr. President,
This guy was
Thank you.
born to play the crusty
Thank
dean in
for
a
elevating a
college
great
movie,
leader
Yeah.
in
in a
Kamala
college
Harris.
sex comedy.
Vice President Harris,
They can't even make those anymore,
thank you
right? They would
for
get
choosing a
great
great running
exhoriated
mate
if
with
they
a
tried
heart
to
for
make
the
that
middle
kind
class
of movie.
like
Yeah,
yours.
you can't really do those kinds of
In
movies
Sergeant,
anymore.
Congressman,
No more Fast Times at
Coach,
Ridgemont High.
Governor Tim Walz. I have hope. Do you?
Yeah, this is the guy that got Monte thrown
I
off
have
the train.
hope. Do you? I have hope.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you?
right. It was, yeah.
And it is in no small part because of Joe Biden. I have never known a more compassionate man than Joe Biden. I have never known a man who has taken
Except
from his
for
own loss,
people-
My
his
eyes
own
are
faith,
dads,
turn
or
down the
delivered
thing on
so
this.
much
people getting
for the
railroaded
future
into the
of
justice
so
system.
many others.
Those people he didn't have a lot of compassion
Mr.
for.
President, you were my senator as a Delawarean. You are my president as an American, and you will always be my friend.
You know,
On behalf
Joe
of
really
our
liked.
nation,
He really
Joe,
liked the
for your
segregationists he
courage
wrote those crime
in
bills
fighting
with. He
for our
liked them so
democracy,
much
we thank you.
that when he was running in 2019, not in 1978, in 2019, he bragged about how well he got along with them and the fact that they didn't
On
call
behalf of
him
our
bull,
Democratic Party,
as opposed to
for your
presumably
loyalty in
the
fighting
black
for
people he
our
was
democratic
working with them
values,
to
we
incarcerate.
thank you.
That's Joe Biden. That's the Joe Biden they're all celebrating tonight.
And on behalf of Delaware,
Including, frankly,
thank
some
you, Joe,
African
and God
Americans
bless
in
you.
the audience.
We love you. We love Joe.
Yeah,
We
my
love Joe.
bet is looking pretty good.
We love Joe.
That's right.
We
Yeah,
love
we need
Joe.
Hulk Hogan, man. This event definitely needs Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Thank you all. We love Joe. God bless you, and thank you very much.
You gotta go Mexican restaurant in New Orleans.
Listen, man, I don't go to New Orleans and eat Mexican food.
Well, they're gonna
Like,
do the
right.
retrospective on his life, probably.
So what do you go
right?
to Mexico and eat Italian food?
Hi,
They're probably gonna do the.
at Chris McAuliffe. I've been bouncing around all week, excited for this moment.
All right, I don't know who you don't care. Yeah, there's gonna be. There's probably gonna be some like retrospective of his life. They're gonna drag this out forever. This is gonna take forever.
Oh no.
Yeah, because now there's gonna be Jill.
Oh, no. Is that the granddaughter that he doesn't acknowledge?
I don't know.
They decided to acknowledge her this way.
Yeah.
They
So it's gonna be
they
Jill.
decided to make her legitimate.
That's right. It's going to be Jill Biden, and it's going to be Ashley Biden introducing Joe Biden. Now, you animals in the chat need to control yourselves when Ashley Biden comes on the stage, because YouTube is very sensitive about certain chats.
They are
regarding
very
certain
sensitive about certain
subjects.
issues.
Yeah, and we don't want you guys to get yourselves banned, because we need you.
And,
we need
and
you.
look, there is nothing wrong with someone being squeaky clean. That's all I'm gonna say
I like that
about
song. I have to celebrate you, baby.
That was oblique enough, right?
I had to praise you like I should. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, see? All right, here she is. All right. Now this is the Lady Macbeth.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
should
when
fight Nancy Pelosi on
when
the
I
stage.
go
You
to-
should have a fist fight. You should have a cat fight on the stage.
Yeah, when I go to New Orleans, I have Cajun food, but I gotta tell you, man, it's much harder to find even
Thank
good Cajun
you.
food there now.
Thank you so much. Love you too.
They're just making shit for the tourists at this point.
Joe and I have been together for almost 50 years.
I'm telling you, it's going to be longer. It's going to be longer
And still,
than 221.
there are moments
It's gonna be
when
longer
I
than
fall in
221.
love with
Yeah, that's
him
what I'm
all over again.
I feel pretty good about that.
Like when I handed him our baby
Hang
Ashley
on, so this
for the
is it,
first
right?
time,
Now they're gonna bring
and saw
on-
the
This is it,
smile
then
that lit
Ashley,
up
then him.
his face.
Now, I can't imagine he's
Or
going to go
on
more.
nights
I mean,
after
why
an
would they
exhausting
put her
day
on?
in working in the
Like,
Senate,
why would they put
and
Ashley
he would read
on?
one
Like,
more
why?
bedtime
That's,
story.
what? I mean, what are they going to bring
just
Gunther on?
because
They got to bring
he
one of the
asked.
kids on. You can't bring Hunter on.
When he stops
Look, as
on the
anybody
rope
who's
line
read through the
because
comment
he
section of
sees
Rumble
someone
know,
grieving,
there are
who
quite a few
needs to
people
know
that are going to
everything
read that
is
as
going
some
to
kind of
be all
satanic
right one
message.
day. Or to
What?
encourage that
Putting
child
Ashley
with
on
a
stage.
stutter
I mean, they got to
to
have one of the
find
kids. It's a family
confidence
thing. They got to have one
Yeah,
of the
but
kids.
why that one? Come on, man.
Those
Well, Hunter is the only other one,
when
right?
I'm
There's the only other one.
reminded of
Well,
all
bring
he's
out Hunter. It'll be a
in the
story
name
about the
of
triumph of the
something
human
bigger than
spirit over
himself.
addiction.
Yeah, Hunter.
Receiving the medal
Yeah, they
of
can't
freedom
do
with
that. So like
humility.
with Trump, they had I think they had Eric introduce him this time, and they had Ivanka introduce him the first time, and probably Don Jr. in 2020. I forget what happened
Placing
there.
his hand on our family Bible to take his oath of office. And weeks ago,
Oh, thank God we don't have
when
to do
I
this again
saw
tomorrow.
him dig deep into
I don't think I
his
could do it.
soul and decide to no longer
Maybe
seek
Thursday.
re-election and endorse
Maybe Thursday we should just film the
Kamala
protests all
Harris.
night because the protests are going to go well into the evening.
All right, so tomorrow will be all right because we'll do the Kit Pizza Summit, we'll do the
Worker Strike
With
Back.
faith
Strike
and
Back
conviction,
rally.
Joe knows
Now
that our
Wednesday
nation's strength
we only have that
doesn't come
Chicago.
from
It's a
intimidation or
local.
Yeah,
cruelty.
the Chicago
group.
for Justice in Palestine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
and
have
then
that
Acts of
scheduled.
kindness
and then we'll do this
that
again
heal
Wednesday
deep
probably.
wounds
I mean,
We'll
with
watch
that
Tim Walls.
one,
We have to watch Tim Walls. I'm
well,
excited
that
to
one
learn.
I might do it from
love
outside
of
the
a country
DNC.
that shines
There we
with
go.
I just wasn't going to
promise
do that
and
tonight because I was
renewal.
out there for freaking 7 hours today.
Kamala Harris knows
was
that too.
I'm very excited to see if Tim Walls is going to include chocolate milk and apple juice in the free school lunches.
Our
Or if it's
son
just going to
Bo
be chocolate milk.
first worked with Kamala.
And I know
when
Kyle's
he
really
was
looking
Attorney
forward to that
General
too.
of Delaware.
No, I don't think the parliamentarian will allow
He told
the
me
juice.
at the dinner
I
table
think that's
one
against
night,
the parliamentary rule
she's
book.
special.
Yeah.
No juice.
Someone to
no
keep your eye
slimes.
on. And he was right. Joe and
Wow.
I know Kamala. We have seen her courage, her determination, and her leadership.
Kathy
up
Hochul is
close.
what you wanted, you sick bastard.
Kamala and
Really?
Tim,
You're a sick
you
fuck, man.
will win.
Are there any
Yeah,
Democrats in the
they
room
have that
tonight?
grandma porn. They have that.
And
Yeah, I've
you
showed
are
that video to
inspiring
Liz.
a
They always
new
find a lot of
generation.
excuses for it.
we are all a part of something bigger than ourselves.
This is a super chat, so
And
we'll get
we
to
are
it later.
stronger
But according
than
to
we
one of our
know.
viewers,
The future
so
of
we
our
have over
country is
2,000.
in
We
the
have
hands
25,
of
75.
those
I don't know
in
what
this
we have on
room.
Rumble.
And
1535.
all of you watching at
So
home,
we're a little over 4,000.
Yeah, we're
to
over 4,000.
all of
According
us,
to this viewer, The Hill
can't
has
afford to
176
lose.
watching right now.
with faith in each other,
Oh, rising?
hope for a brighter future,
I guess so.
and love
Let's
for
see.
our country, we will fight and we will win together. Thank you.
Wow, that was really quick. Wow, that was terrific. That was the best speech of the night.
Answer all the questions again. She's gonna get all the answers.
She did a great job there. That was very fast. That was very quick. I like that. That's what we're looking for.
Hey.
Happening now. Democrats.
That is.
It's the eve
Oh
of
my
my
God!
8th
Why didn't we do
birthday.
the show on Rumble?
Dad is still in
If you had
DC,
told me she
tending
was
to urgent
speaking, we would have
matters
done
in the
the
Senate.
show on Rumble. Just
That
for
night,
that.
as a surprise, Mom told me, Bo, and Hunter to get in the car.
I am biting my
I
tongue.
remember pulling
I
up
am
to the
biting my
Wilmington
tongue
Amtrak
very hard
station,
right now.
riding up the escalator to the platform.
Must
The train stops,
not get
doors open,
show
and
banned
Dad
from
steps out.
YouTube.
As
Must
soon as
not
I saw
say
him, I run down
what
that
I am
platform and
thinking.
jump into his arms. Like magic, Mom brought out a cake, they sang happy birthday, and I blew out the candles. Dad hugged me, and he said that he had to get back to work.
All right, this
He
is
crossed
just.
to the
They're just
southbound
trolling us
train,
now. They're just
and
trolling
off
us
he
now.
went to DC. That was a snapshot of one moment, of one day, on this extraordinary journey of being Joe Biden's daughter.
I'm gonna stop myself. I'm stopping myself. I'm stopping myself. I'm not doing it.
Joe
I'm not gonna do
Biden
it.
is
Years
the
of work. I'm not
OG girl
washing
dad.
it all down the shower drain to comment on this.
He told me I could be anything and I could do anything. As a child, I would sit on the leather chair in his office doing my homework, and he would sit next to me doing his work, drafting the Violence Against Women Act.
Come on, man. This
And he
isn't a
wasn't
humiliation
just
ritual.
a girl dad.
I'm sorry.
I could see.
What do you mean?
And he wasn't just a girl dad. I could see that he valued and trusted women. How he listened to his mother. How he believed
I
in his
can't even
sister.
comment on this
And
in
most
any
of
honest
all,
way.
how he
That will not
respected
jeopardize
my
the
mother's
channel.
career.
I can't do it. Okay, you know what I want to do? Here's an incentive.
Dad was
Anyone who's
always
not
there
already a patron,
doing everything
sign
he
up.
could to
I
be a
I
true
literally want to
partner
do
to
this
her.
as a segment tomorrow.
Dad, you always tell us, but we don't tell you enough, that you are the love of our lives and the life of our love. I had my wedding reception in my parents' backyard. At the time, my dad was vice president. But he was also that dad who literally set up the entire
He was one of the few modern
he was
people who
riding
practices
around
prima
in his
nocta.
John Deere four-wheeler, fixing the place settings, arranging
Don't worry,
the
they
plants.
don't speak Latin
And by
at
the
YouTube.
way, he was very emotional. I thought that I would be a mess, but he was the one crying, and I was the one who had to comfort him. Before he walked me down the aisle, he turned to me and said that he would always be my best friend. All these years later, Dad, you are still my best friend. His example
They are,
in service
you know,
inspired my career.
as the viewers pointed
I'm a
out, she
social
is being
worker
showered
in
with
Philadelphia.
applause.
You know, she's not. They're not doing a rising show. I mean, they're just doing the. I think they're just doing the
I support
general.
formerly
that's not,
incarcerated
if we
women
had
as
beat the
they
rising by that
heal
much, that would be something.
from
But I don't
past
think that's
trauma
what
and
got
they
there.
reclaim their lives. Dad always told me that I was no better than anybody else and nobody was better than me. He taught me that everyone deserves a fair shot and that we shouldn't leave anyone behind. That's what you learn from a fighter who has been underestimated his entire life. When I look at Dad, I see
Rubber
grace,
ducky,
strength,
you're the
and humility. I see one of the most consequential leaders ever in history. And I also know that he never stops thinking about you, about your dreams, about your dignity, about your opportunities, about your family. Dad knows that family is everything. When Hunter and I lost our brother Beau to cancer in 2015, the grief and the pain felt like it might never end. Dad had the capacity to step out of his own pain and absorb ours. And I know that Beau is here with us tonight, as he is always with us. After Beau passed, I got this tattoo on my wrist. It says, "Courage, dear heart."
Oh,
A
she's a fan of the
reminder
show.
to myself
Yeah,
to
she's a
keep
fan.
going,
I knew it.
to get back up,
I know it.
like my dad has always done. He has taught me that a courageous heart is a miraculous thing. A courageous heart can heal a family. A courageous heart can
Okay,
heal
right,
a
right
nation,
now,
and
I'm
maybe
like in a,
even the world.
I'm in a Terminator logic jam.
And now,
You know, like the
this
screen in my
election
mind
requires
is
the
giving me all
courageous
kinds
hearts
of
all
response
of us.
options Only in my
In
case, I
2020,
can't use
my
any
dad
of them.
selected Kamala Harris to beat Donald Trump. And he knows in 2024, she will beat Donald Trump again. So tonight, I am asking you, if you stood with us in 2020, call upon your courageous heart. Stand with us today. Work harder than you have ever worked before in your life. This is the fight of our lifetime. Our freedom, our democracy, our reproductive rights. All of this, all of it is on the ballot. And I know together we can do this because my dad helped show us the way. And now, I would like to introduce my father, your 46th
Thank
president
God.
of the United States.
There's no
Joe
way he goes more than
Biden.
20 minutes.
Okay. Now we're starting. Oh, shit. There we go.
I mean, once he gets to the podium, I would say we officially start.
Fuck that. Get out of here. It starts. I mean, fine. It's gonna go way more. I mean, I'm gonna blow this out of the water. So it's not even gonna be close. But all right, fine. I'll grant you once he gets to the podium. I'll even grant you that. All right. Unfortunately, we can't hear it. All right, 30 seconds. All right, let's start it.
They're just really, really tempting me every moment that she's on that stage. All right, boom.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
Well, that was at like 40 when he got to
40.
the podium.
I'm very confident it's going to go 2 more minutes from now.
Are they still playing music?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's coming on now. And the crowd goes wild for the man who locked up 2 generations of the people they claim to care the most about.
All right, we got 1:40.
We're at 1 minute.
You know, you're fudging it. You're fudging it. I feel confident anyway.
I mean, you know, it can't go from when he walks on stage.
Why not? How else would you measure an ovation? Where are you gonna measure
From when he
from
gets
where?
to the from when he gets to the podium.
All right, now there's no more music.
But you probably got it. You probably got it. They're still pretty excited.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you got another round of chanting.
Yeah, all right. So now it's 2 minutes. 2:39. All right, so now I'm giving you 2 minutes. I'm spotting you 40.
You got it. You got
Thank
it.
you, thank you, thank you.
In fact, you might get it exactly.
You might get it
Almost looks
exactly.
Like he's gonna start now.
10 seconds. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 2:21.
So it's going a little over, but you pretty. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna be almost.
It's not bad. Not bad. It's not bad.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
I want to shower you all with affection.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
He looks good. They should put him back in the race.
That was my daughter.
Will you stop? Will you please stop tempting me?
Thank you.
Oh, it's going way over.
Yeah, way over. Yeah, way over.
It looked like they were going to bring it down.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. I tell you what.
Like, are they trying to get out in front of that story? Like, why did they put so much attention?
My dearest
I don't get
daughter Ashley, God love you, you're incredible. Thank you for that introduction and for being my courageous heart, along with Hunter and our entire family, and especially our rock, Jill. Who, as those of you who know us, she still leaves me both breathless and speechless. Everybody knows her. I love her more than she loves me. She walks down the stairs and I still get that going boom, boom, boom. You all will know me. No, not kidding. Let's give a special round of applause to our First Lady, Jill Biden.
But I mean,
my dad.
I'm telling you.
My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, Joey, family is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I love you all. Folks.
And I want to show you my
In America,
love.
I love
Especially
you.
the women with the good smelling hair. Any women here who use Pantene? Up to the front.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. Are you ready to vote for freedom?
KS, you are seen.
Are you ready to vote for
Can't put
democracy
that on
and for
screen,
America?
But I appreciate it.
It's against time.
Let me ask you, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, President and Vice President of the United States? My fellow Democrats, my fellow Americans, nearly 4 years ago, in winter, on the steps of the Capitol, on a cold January day, I raised my right hand and I swore an oath to you and to God to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. In front of me was a city surrounded by the National Guard. Behind me, a Capitol that's 2 weeks before had been overrun by a violent mob. But I knew then, from the bottom of my heart, that I knew now, there is no place in America for political violence. None. You cannot say you love your country only when you win. In that moment, I wasn't looking to the past. I was looking to the future. I spoke of the work at hand, the moment we had to meet. It was, as I told you then, a winter of peril and possibility. Of peril and possibility. We're in the grip of a once-in-a-century pandemic, historic joblessness, a call for racial justice long overdue, clear and present threats to our very democracy.
Cracker ass, cracker, I'll put my foot in the cracker ass, cracker.
And yet I believed then, and I believe now, that progress was and is possible. Justice is achievable. And our best days are not behind us, they're before us.
What the? Oh, before meaning. All right.
Okay, so literally,
Now it's summer.
I mean, as far as
Winter
what
is
we
past.
saw, that
grateful
glancing
heart,
reference by
I
AOC
stand
remains the
before
only
you
reference
now
to Gaza.
on this
Yeah.
August night
That's
to
it.
report that democracy has prevailed.
Yep.
Oh, really? As you hand off your
Democracy.
presidency
Democracy has
quite
delivered.
reluctantly.
And now democracy must be preserved. You've heard me say it before. We're facing an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not hyperbole, I mean it literally.
Yeah, for old
We're in a
time's
battle
sake.
for the very
And
soul
Corn Pop
of
was a
America.
bad dude.
I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas, and chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House that they saw as an ally. They didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Hate was on the march in America. Old ghosts and new garments, stirring up the oldest divisions, stoking the oldest fears, giving oxygen to the oldest forces.
But they're not going to
that
get
they
in.
long
And there's
sought
not enough
to
of the
tear apart
uncommitteds
America.
there to do anything, really.
In the process, a young woman was killed. When I contacted her mother, I asked about what happened. She told me. When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God."
Is Rumble?
That's what he said.
Yeah, Rumble's.
That is what he said and what he meant. That's when I realized, had listened to the admonition of my dead son, I could not stay in the sidelines. So I ran. Because I had no intention of running again. I just lost part of my soul. But I ran with a deep conviction. In America, I know and believe in an America where honesty, dignity, decency still matter. An America where everyone has a fair shot and hate has no safe harbor. An America where the fundamental creed of this nation, that all of us are created equal, is still very much alive. And a broad coalition of Americans joined with me. 81 million voters voted for us, more than any time in all of history. Because of all of you in this room and others, we came together in 2020 to save democracy. As your president, I've been determined to keep America moving forward, not going back, to stand against hate and violence in all its forms, to be a nation where we not only live with but thrive on diversity, demonizing no one, leaving no one behind, and becoming a nation that we profess to be. I also ran.
Oh, this is actually going to go probably to midnight.
The middle class.
Looking like he's going to go
Wow.
another 15 minutes or so.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I made a commitment to you that I be a president for all Americans, whether you voted for me or not.
I told you I had spaghetti with garlic and oil.
We have done that.
I actually go for some more.
Studies show the major bills we have passed actually delivered
I like
more
those
to
Trader
red
Joe's
states than
corn
blue.
chips. That's what I like. They're like Fritos,
Because the
only they
job
got a
of the
little bit
president is
more,
delivered
there's
to
a little more
all
heft to
Americans.
them.
I mean, I must say, being out here in Chicago,
Because of you.
I am off
I'm not
my
exaggerating.
diet.
Because of you.
You gotta get one of those beef
We've
sandwiches.
had one of the most extraordinary 4 years
I
of
mean, come on,
progress ever.
like, when am I going to be here again?
Yeah.
And it is a very good food town.
When I say we,
I need to
mean
enjoy
Kamala
it
and me.
before I go back to like salads when I go back home.
Just think about it. COVID no longer controls our lives.
Chicago.
We've gone from
It's
economic
my
crisis to
kind
the
of
strongest
town.
economy in the entire world. Record 16 million new jobs. Record small business growth. Record high stock
Yeah, the corn
market,
dippers.
record high
Yeah,
401ks.
somebody knows what's up.
Wages up.
Yeah, somebody in the
Inflation
Rumble
down,
chat.
way down,
It's moving
and
too fast for me to
continuing
see
go
who you
down.
are. But yeah, the corn dippers. That's my jam, those corn dippers.
What is that?
The corn chips
Oh,
from
that's
Trader
from
Joe's.
Trader
Because they taste like
Joe's.
Fritos, but they're big and
Racial
they're
wealth
thick so
gap
you
in
can dip
20
them in
years.
something. But yeah, no, those are good.
And yes,
Those are the shit. I can go for some of
we
those
both
now, but I
know
don't
we
have
have
any.
more to do,
Oh well.
but we're moving in the right direction.
Might have
Oh,
a bag
are we?
of-
More Americans
Nah.
have peace of mind.
I was about to say, when did I last have
In
a
the
bag
right
of corn
direction.
chips? I was at it. Yeah,
More
no,
Americans have health insurance
Some
today.
Chex
I wish he would
than
give a
ever before
speech about
in
corn
American
chips.
history.
Maybe I should have some Chex Mix. Yeah, I can go for some of that. Hey, you know what I can go for?
And
Actually, some
after-
microwave popcorn.
As a young senator beginning to fight for 50 years to give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices, we finally beat Big Pharma.
Oh yeah, no, they're
Oh
hurting.
yeah, they're on the run.
Yeah, they're.
You got them on the
run.
run.
Right where you
And
want 'em.
guess who cast the tie-breaking
What is it?
vote?
It's 11
Vice
drugs,
President, soon to
right?
be President Kamala
11
Harris.
drugs that they're negotiating out of thousands.
Don't make that back with monkeypox.
And now it's the law of the land. Instead of paying
Don't make
$400
some
a
cream
month
that
for
you rub
insulin,
on your ass
seniors
to
with
get rid of
diabetes
it.
will pay
Sell
$35
for
a month.
$13,000 for a 2-week dose.
The law we passed already includes, starting in January, every senior's total prescription cost can be capped at $2,000 no matter how expensive the drugs they have.
Can you believe this? They couldn't make this
What we don't
work
focus
in 2
on,
hours.
and our
You have to be an
Republican
hour
friends
over.
don't seem to understand. Our reforms don't just save seniors money; they save the American
How did the
taxpayers
Republicans
money.
do with time on the RNC? 'Cause
Yeah, it was slow too. They were slow.
It saved
They always run
$160
long.
billion over the next decade. That's not hyperbole. It's because Medicare no longer has to pay those exorbitant prices to the big pharma. But look, well, thank you, Kamala,
Thank you,
too.
Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Look, folks, how can we have
He's a
the
poet
strongest
warrior
economy
in
the
the
world
classic sense.
without the best infrastructure in the world? Donald Trump promised Infrastructure Week every week for 4 years, and he never built a damn thing. But now, because of what Kamala and I have done, remember we were told we couldn't get it done. Remember when we came into office, we couldn't get anything passed? But right now, we're giving America an infrastructure decade, not week. We're modernizing our roads, our bridges, our ports, our airports, our trains, our buses. removing every lead pipe from schools and homes so every child can drink clean water, providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where they live, not unlike what Roosevelt did with electricity, and so much more. We are uniting the country. We're growing our economy.
There's a little
We're improving our quality of
protester
life.
up there.
And we're building a better America. Because that's who we are. How can we be the strongest nation in the world without leading the world in science and technology? After years of importing 90% of our semiconductor chips from abroad, which America invented those chips. Our Chips and Science Act meant that private companies from around the world
Making me hungrier now talking about
are
chips.
now investing literally
We should just do a really-
tens of billions of dollars.
Maybe we should do a
You
dumb
know,
show.
you know,
Right here in
it is pretty amazing what they pulled off here. Like this is a coup in broad
And
daylight.
over that period, they'll create tens of thousands of jobs.
I mean, it's not that
And
hard.
many
They
of
just
those
had
jobs
to
in the
tell him he's got to
so-called
drop out, or else
fabs,
they're
the
gonna
buildings that make the chips,
rewrite the rules and
being constructed now.
get rid of them.
And guess what?
Well,
The average salary in those
yeah.
labs,
I mean, it's very
size of a
revealing.
football
Yeah,
field,
well, it's not that hard for the
will be
Democrats to
over
do that. I mean, they can just do
$100,000
whatever
a
they
year,
want.
And you don't
Sure.
need
I
a
mean, so can
college
the
degree.
Republicans technically, but they're afraid of their base.
Yeah.
With some cause.
Because
Yeah, I
of
mean,
you.
the base did show up with a
What
noose
are
for the
these
vice president.
pussies going to do? Give
I
you a
mean, they
mean
did,
look?
they did show up with a
back.
gallows.
Scaffold,
Lead
yeah.
the world in manufacturing.
For the
800,000 new manufacturing jobs. Our Republican friends and others made sure they'd go abroad to get the cheapest labor. We used to import products and export jobs.
He does look like the Jeff
Now
Dunham
we
puppet.
export American products and create American jobs. Right here in America. Where jobs belong. With every new job, with every new factory,
Yeah.
pride and hope is being brought back to communities throughout the country that were left behind. You know you're from them, many of you. You know what it's like when that factory closed, where your mother, your father, your grandmother,
Yeah, everybody
grandfather
in that
worked.
room knows what it's
And now
like to
you're
have the
back.
factory close.
Providing once again,
No.
proving that Wall Street didn't build America.
Only Sean Fain and he's
Middle
a
class
fucking
built
whore.
America, and unions built the middle class.
Yes, they did. They did. And what did you do with the railroad workers, Joe?
It's been my view since I came to the Senate. That's why I'm proud to have been the first president to walk a picket line.
How about the railroad workers here?
And be labeled the most pro-union president in history, and I accept it. It's a fact.
Who gave you that paper exactly? DNC propagandists?
Because when
the
unions
media?
do well, we all do well. You got it, man. You got it.
Union Joe.
I agree. I'm proud. Look, remember we told we couldn't get anything done because we couldn't get anything done in the Congress? But with your support, we passed the most significant climate law in the history of mankind. Over $370 billion. Cutting carbon emissions in half by 2030. Launching a climate corps, similar to AmeriCorps and Peace
So,
Corps.
I'm just
creating
saying, Keith.
Tens of thousands of jobs for young people in the future.
Like,
We're
look,
going to make sure this continues.
If they could have shot him up with
Creating
enough
hundreds of
shit
thousands of jobs in
for him
clean
to
energy for
basically do
American
this
workers,
through November,
including
I
the
mean, his
IBEW
people aren't
installing
wrong. He could have.
500,000.
Yeah, but you
charging
can't do this every day. I mean,
all
this is like
across America.
you can't do this every day, 3 times a day.
I mean, I guess.
And in the process,
I mean, who knows? Maybe you
reducing
could.
carbon emissions.
Then again, maybe you could.
And we're seeing it.
Yeah.
We're seeing to it that the first beneficiaries of environmental initiatives are those fence-line communities that have been smothered by the legacy of pollution. Louisiana and Delaware, Route 9.
Like, you know, people are grading him on a
all those
curve.
chemical factors are right next to
They're
the
not
poorest
expecting
neighborhoods.
him to be good.
They're the ones we're going to bring back.
Like, this is as good as it gets for late stage.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still, I mean,
And
like,
how?
Like that moment right there was
How
kind
can we
of
be
weird,
the greatest nation in the world?
where he pauses for a couple
without the
seconds
best
and then
education
screams.
system in the world? Donald Trump and the Republican friends, they not only can't
No, they're
think, they
better
can't
off
read
with
very well.
Kamala and the Waltz guy, you know, the jolly
Seriously,
fat
think about it.
Midwesterner.
Yeah. I'm
Look
just
at their
talking
project,
about
2025.
what they did was
Want
so
to do away with the
extreme.
Department of Education.
And his people argue
During
it
the
wasn't
pandemic,
necessary.
Kamala and I helped states and cities get back their
You
schools
can,
back
you can
open.
make the case.
And we gave public school
could,
teachers
but-
a raise.
It's hard to make the case now because she's come back and taken the lead in the
We
polls.
created apprenticeships with
And
businesses
he wasn't
and
going to do that.
communities.
He, you know, there's no
Putting
way for him
students
to
on
do
a
that.
path to a good paying job, whether or not they go to college. And by the way, we're making college a hell of a lot more affordable.
My kid's going to graduate college by the time this night is over. By the time this speech is over.
Over $15 billion to HBCUs.
The new one.
By the time this convention
Minority
is done,
service
yeah.
I
including
think you're right.
Hispanic
11.
institutions,
They're going to wrap it
tribal
around
colleges.
11.
We kept our commitment to provide more student relief than ever by lifting the burden of helping millions of families so they could get married, start a family, buy a home, and begin to build family wealth and contribute to the community and grow our economy.
I became
It's not
president
costing us, it's
to try
creating more
to
wealth.
blunt some of the effects of the
We fundamentally
policies that
transformed how
I
our-
was
transformed how our
instrumental
economy
in
grows.
passing.
From the middle out,
Yeah, just think about that.
bottom
Like
up,
in the richest
instead of the
country in the
top down.
world, in the empire.
You
Like,
know,
yeah, we're going to make it so that you can buy a house
my
again.
dad, you said there wasn't a whole hell of a lot to drop down on my kitchen table at the end of the month. I come from a basic middle-class family.
As far as I know, he
Three-bedroom house,
didn't
4
do
kids, and
anything
Grandpa
to
lived
try
with
to
us.
further
Decent neighborhood,
undo
but
his
never a
crime
penny to
bills.
spare.
The only person who did
Look,
anything on
that
that front
top-down
was
notion
Trump with the
never
First Step
worked.
Act, which,
A lot of Democrats didn't think it worked.
frankly, it says a
Republicans
lot
think it
about
worked,
how
it
they see their base that he's
doesn't.
not
When we did
running
all
on that.
Right.
Even though they want
done,
more of the black
everybody can
vote,
do well.
Trump never
Everybody.
talks about that.
Right.
Donald Trump calls America a failing nation. No, I'm serious. But think about this. Think about
Go
it.
on.
He publicly says to the whole world, I'm going to say something outrageous. I know more foreign leaders by their first names and know them well than anybody alive. Just because I'm so damn old. But I'm not joking. Think of the message he sends around
So
the world
endearing.
when he talks about America being a failing nation. He says we're losing.
I'm very sorry to hear if
He's
you're
the
sick,
loser.
Peter.
He's dead
Send us an
wrong.
email. DoDissidents@gmail if you want. In touch with some people.
Thoughts and prayers.
Many of
man.
you are very successful people who travel the world. Name me a country in the world
And yes, send us an email.
that doesn't think we're the leading nation in the world. Without America, not a joke, think about it. I'm being literal. Who could lead the world other than the United States of America?
Do you want a
Guess
list?
what? America's winning, and the world's better off for it. America's more prosperous, and Americans are safer today than we're under Donald Trump. Trump continues to lie about crime in America, like everything else. Guess what? On his watch, the murder rate went up 30%, the biggest increase in history. Meanwhile,
That was during COVID.
we made the largest investment, Kamala and I, in public safety ever. Now, the murder rate is falling faster than any time in history. Violent crime has dropped to the lowest level in more than 50 years. And crime will keep coming down when we put a prosecutor in the Oval Office instead of a convicted felon.
Secret Service.
And folks, the distinguished senator from the Senate from California and I passed the first ban on assault weapons. And guess what? It worked. If we care about public safety, we need to prevent gun violence. And what makes me ashamed when I travel the world, which I do, more children in America are killed by a gunshot than any other cause in the United States.
See, yeah, see, like that delivery is not good. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not bad by his standards.
It's not good, but if he
if
had performed at the debate like this,
my God,
this would be his.
Yeah, it'd be his convention.
Tom and I
Yeah,
are
no, that's true.
proud.
That is true.
We beat the NRA
No
when we
denying
passed
that.
the first major bipartisan gun safety
He's
law
not going to
in
wrap
40
this
years.
speech without talking about Ukraine and Putin, right? I mean, he's going to have to do that. I mean, that's like one of his big
He
things.
literally said the United
I'm
States
serious.
is safer than
That
it
comes
was
from
under
here.
Trump, so I don't think
And now
so.
it's time to ban assault weapons again.
He's not going to stop this without Ukraine. Right?
I think he might not
And
want to get
demand
into Ukraine
universal
because it's hard to
background
get into
checks.
Ukraine without getting into Israel. And so far, it seems like they've just decided not to talk about it.
It's hard.
We'll see.
I never thought I'd stand before a crowd of Democrats and refer to a president as a liar so many times. No, I'm not trying to be funny. It's sad. Trump continues to lie about the border. Here's what he won't tell you. Trump killed the strongest bipartisan border deal in the history of the United States.
So you know how you were
That
you
we
were kind of
negotiated with the Senate
squirming
Republicans
when
for 4
Ashley
weeks.
was on the stage because you don't
Once it
want to
passed,
say anything that's
and
going
never
to
acknowledged those
violate any
expansive border
policies. Well,
changes in American history.
my policy I set for
He
myself
called
is that when you
senators
are privileged
say,
enough to
"Don't
get to do
support
this
the bipartisan
job as your
bill."
main job and your
He
living,
said,
you should
"It
never
helped me
complain.
politically
Never
and hurt
complain.
him politically."
Don't bitch. We're very
My
lucky to
God.
be able to do this.
No, I'm serious. Think
But
about
man,
it.
do
Not a
I feel
joke.
like fucking complaining at how goddamn long this
Ask
is
even the
going.
press who doesn't like me,
And this
they'll
is our
tell you
second
that's
show
true.
of the day, and it's hard not to complain
Typically
now.
Trump.
I'm not.
Once again,
Still easier than
putting himself
99% of other jobs out
and
there,
America
but
laughs.
this is getting on my nerves now.
Then I had to
It's
take
fucking
executive action.
How could you go this
Result
late?
of the executive
How could
action
you
I
put the
took.
president on this late?
Border
God.
encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact,
Midnight.
there are fewer border
Midnight. We're
crossings
here
today
watching
than
this
when
fucking
Donald Trump
schmuck at
left
midnight.
office.
I mean,
On
it's
a
not
Monday
Unlike
night.
Trump.
On a Monday.
We will not
Local
demonize
time.
immigrants,
Yeah.
saying they're the poison of blood of America.
I think you're being an East Coast chauvinist.
Poison the blood of our country.
Yeah, right. Yeah. In
it's not
real
midnight
America,
here.
it's only 11.
Kamala and I
In
are
the-
committed to strengthening legal immigration.
In the good, decent
Including
America, it's
protecting
11.
dreamers
On those
and
The
decadent
real
coasts.
America, my friend.
Yeah.
The
exactly.
real America. The hard
In
fact.
in America, it's
And here's
11
what else
o'clock.
I
Where
believe in.
cholesterol is not a dirty word.
Protecting your freedom. Your freedom to vote. Your freedom to love who you love.
Where corn syrup isn't demonized.
And your freedom to choose. In its decision overturning Roe v. Wade, as you heard earlier tonight, the United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, "Women are not without electoral or political
Just
power."
say what the fuck you're going to say and get off already.
No
He's going to start
kidding.
tripping over his words.
I think you
MAGA
should
Republicans
you
found
should
out the
actually
power of
fill
women
in for
in
Harris in the
2022.
debate prep.
And Donald Trump is going to find out the power of women in 2024.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
And where Trump and his mega Republican right-wingers seek to erase history, we Democrats continue to write history and make more history. I'm proud to have kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman in the United States Supreme Court.
Yeah, he's not even close to being done. Not even close. It's going to be another 15
I
minutes.
mean, yeah, he's saying
Ketanji
you
Brown
motherfuckers
Jackson.
pushed me out. I'm taking a
A
victory
symbol for
lap
every young
Staying
woman in
here all
America that you can do anything.
because I am delusional
proud
enough to think I
I've
deserve
kept
one.
my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and that taps in to the full talent of our nation. The most diverse cabinet in history, including the first black woman of South Asian descent to serve as vice president.
See, he said it. South Asian.
He said she's Asian.
Serve
He
as
said
the
she's Asian.
47th
Even Joe
president
Biden
of the
said
United
it.
States.
Well, that is really the most important thing.
You know, they say Chinese people are good at math. I think the Indians are pretty good at math. We don't really hear about the Indians being good at math.
They never
That's not
talk
a
about
thing.
how
It
good
should
they
be.
do in school.
Yeah. You know, you never hear about that. That seems like an insight Trump would have.
They
That
also make
Indians are
great
also
doctors.
good at math.
I've long said we have many obligations as a nation. But I got in trouble years ago for saying I'd make
You
no
haven't had a
apologies.
prostate exam
We have
until you've
only
had an
one
Indian
truly
stick his
sacred
finger up your
obligation.
ass.
To prepare and equip those we send to war and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't. That's why I'm so proud to have written and signed the PACT Act. One of the most significant laws ever, helping veterans and their families exposed to toxic materials like burn pits in Agent Orange. I was around during the Vietnam War. It's hard. Nobody was able to prove that there's illness was a consequence of Agent Orange. And no one was able to prove initially that because they lived in burn pits like my son lived next to in Iraq for a year, that is the cause of their illness. But because of the PACT Act, a surviving spouse with 2 children is now eligible for a stipend of about $3,000 a month. And those children who lost a parent are eligible for tuition benefits to go to college and to get job training. It's already helping over 1 million veterans and their families just so far. Well, I love them, and I'm so proud of my son's service. We get it. But guess who doesn't get it and doesn't respect our veterans?
Who?
We know from his own chief of staff,
Who
four-star
might
General
you
John
be
Kelly,
thinking of?
that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in France. The brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
I'm outraged. Are you outraged?
Yeah.
No words.
I'm feeling that
personal.
outrage.
They're not the words of a person not worthy of being commander-in-chief. Period. Not then, not now, and not ever. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Whatever Smedley
Just
Butler
as no
thought about it,
commander-in-chief
war is not a racket,
Should ever bow
folks.
down to a dictator.
Completely
The
legit.
way Trump bows down to Putin. I never have, and I promise you, Kamala Harris will never do it. Will never bow down.
Putin, I told you. Can't
When
leave
Trump left office,
without this.
Europe and NATO was in tatters.
Yeah, he's got to do
Not a
NATO.
joke.
All right,
America
but then
first
is he
doctrine.
going to ignore Israel?
Changed
If
our
not,
whole
what
image
is
of the
there?
world.
My guess is he probably will
Well, I
ignore
spent
Israel. My guess is he'll probably just
80
wrap.
hours, about
Hopefully after
190
this. I
hours
mean, what else
total.
does he have to say?
Even my counterparts are heads of
think this
state
is
in
it.
Europe to strengthen NATO. We did. We united Europe like it hadn't been united for years, adding Finland and Sweden to NATO. 10 days before he died, Henry Kissinger called and said, not since Napoleon has Europe not looked over their shoulder at Russia with dread until now. Until now. Well, guess what? Putin thought he'd take Kyiv in 3 days. 3 years later, Ukraine is still free.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Henry Kissinger, man, he was an awesome guy. I can see why you'd want to go on stage and invoke
The
his
conventional
name
wisdom was
in an admiring
that China
way.
would inevitably surpass the United States. They haven't noticed. No one's saying that now.
Lucifer called.
And we'll keep working.
He gave me foreign policy advice, and I took it.
Yeah.
And end the war in Gaza.
Oh, look.
And bring peace and security to the Middle East. As you know, I wrote a peace treaty for Gaza. A few days ago, I put forward a proposal that brought us closer to doing
Absolutely
that
right, Kevin Dorr.
than we've done since
Absolutely
October
right.
7th. We're working around the clock, my Secretary of State, to prevent a wider war and reunite hostages with their families and surge humanitarian health and food assistance into Gaza now. To end the civilian suffering of the Palestinian people and finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war.
So then you're going to cut off arms and financing to Israel
Those
until they comply,
protesters
right?
out in the street, they have a
no,
point.
You're not going to do that.
A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides. Just as we worked around the clock to bring home wrongfully detained Americans
Very
and others
faint
from
applause
Russia.
to the
One of the
protesters.
most complicated swaps in history. But they're home.
Talk about a golf clap.
Kamala and I are going to keep working to bring all Americans wrongfully detained around the world home. I mean it. Folks, I've got 5 months left in my presidency. I've got a lot to do. I intend to get it done. It's been the honor of my lifetime.
I wonder if Scarborough is going to come on
serve as your
MSNBC tomorrow and say he should
love the
be put
job.
back in.
But I love my country more.
They should put Biden back on the top of the
She
table.
might.
I love my country more.
She's such an absurd dingling. Did she ever do anything
All
other
this
than
talk
to
about how I'm angry at all those
drift
people
off
who
her
said I should
family
step
name
down?
to get a job in media?
It's not true.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the
love
crowd's
my
getting a little
country
tired.
more, and we need to preserve our democracy.
Weepy for Joe fucking
2024.
Biden.
Are they
We
getting
need you to
weepy or are
vote.
they tired?
I mean, that
We
could
need you
be.
to keep
Well,
the
some
Senate.
people have been weepy over the course of the night.
We need you to win
Some
back the
people-
House of Representatives. And above all, we need you to beat Donald Trump.
Look, man, if the Marxist Leninists ever do take
Kamala
over,
and Tim.
my only request is that you run down everyone
President
who cried tonight
and Vice President of the United
and
States
you
of
make
America.
them serve the kind of prison sentence that people served under
continue to
Joe
lead
Biden's
America
crime
forward.
bill. Give them at least
Creating more
5
jobs,
years.
standing up for
Just
workers.
5 years
Growing
in
the
a maximum
economy.
security prison.
Lower the cost to American families so they just have a little more breathing room. We've made incredible progress, but we have more work to do. And Kamala and Tim will continue to take on corporate greed and bring down cost of food. They'll keep taking on Big Pharma and making insulin $35 a month, not just for seniors, but for everyone in America. And capping prescription drug costs at a total of $2,000, not just for seniors, but for everyone. And folks, that's going to save America again tens of billions of dollars.
Wow.
Folks,
Wow, it's amazing. Tens of billions of
they'll
dollars.
make housing more affordable. Building 3 million new homes. Providing $25,000 down payment assistance for the first-time home buyer.
Yeah, no, that's all
More
going to
than the
pass.
10 we approved.
Yeah.
Donald Trump wants a new tax on imported goods, food, gas, clothing, and more. You know what that will cost the average family, according to the experts? $3,900 a year in a tax.
Ooh.
No, that's a fact. Kamala and Tim will make the child care tax credit permanent.
I mean, I don't understand how you can
Lifting
have a
millions of children out
presidential
of poverty
address at fucking
and helping
midnight.
millions of families get ahead. But you know what Trump has?
It's midnight.
He put the
It's Monday.
Keaton has had it, man. Keaton has had it.
I mean, it's fucking midnight.
With
It's
his $2
Monday.
trillion tax cut.
What is
for the
this?
wealthy.
Was he fucking
If Keaton
Johnny
had his
Carson?
way, political
He wants to
speeches
provide a
would be the length
$5
of your
billion
average
tax
haiku.
cut for corporations
In
and
fact,
very
they
wealthy.
would be haikus.
10 o'clock. That's it. That's the latest. 11 is
Put us further
11
in
is
debt.
really pushing it hard. Like 11 is
Folks,
really bad. Midnight after
You know,
midnight,
we
we're
have
watching this guy.
We have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what their average tax rate they pay?
Oh my God.
8.2%.
I can't. I mean, this is unbelievable.
If we just increase their taxes we proposed to 25%, which isn't the highest tax rate even, it would raise $500 billion new dollars over 10 years. They'd still be very wealthy. Look, Kamala and Tim are going to make them pay their fair share.
Yeah.
They'll protect Social Security and
That's what they're
Medicare. Trump wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. Kamala and Tim will protect your freedom. They'll protect your vote to your right to vote. They'll
All right,
protect your
it's
civil
wearing
rights.
off. The stuff is
And
wearing
you
off.
know, Trump will do everything to ban abortion nationwide. Oh, he will. You know, Kamala and Tim will do everything they possibly can. That's why you have to elect the Senate and the House to restore Roe v. Wade. The ancient Greeks taught us that character is destiny. Character is destiny. For me and Jill, we know Kamala and Doug are people of character. It's been our honor to serve alongside them. And we know that Tim and Gwen Waltz are also people of great character. Selecting Kamala was the very first decision I made when I became our nominee. And it was the best decision I made my whole career.
That decision wasn't made for you or anything.
We've not only gotten to know each other, we've become close friends. She's tough, she's experienced, and she has enormous integrity. Enormous integrity. Her story represents the best American story.
Yeah. Yeah, he
And
looks
like
like,
many of
yeah,
our best
that's true,
presidents,
David. He does look
he was also vice
very
president.
high energy now compared to everyone who's
That's a
watching
joke.
him. Like, that's a good, I didn't even think of it that way, but you're right. Like, everybody,
she'll be
like
a
now
president
he keeps going and everybody
our
else
children
is
could
falling
look
asleep.
up to. She'll be a president respected by world leaders because she already is.
No, this
She'll
is
be a
his
president
revenge
we can all
on
be
all of
proud
us.
of. It is. And she will be a historic president who puts her stamp on America's future. This will be the first presidential election since January 6th.
Good
On
night,
that
Shane
day,
McCain.
we almost lost everything about who we are as a country. And
We
that
are
threat-
troopers. Damn
Yo,
right.
if you
This is
were,
not
if
hyperbole.
you
That
are,
threat
this
is
is what I was
still
going to
very
say
much
this
alive.
I like fucking Taibbi.
Donald Trump
Pussy.
says he will refuse
Pussy
to
now.
accept the election
He
results.
was out. He
if
was out with
loses again.
Hillary.
Yeah, he was out with Hillary. Yo, so I was gonna say, if you are like if you're a certified therapist or a psychiatrist or even a psychologist, even if you don't have like a medical degree,
And that he'll be a
you could
dictator
probably make a
on day
fortune,
one, in his own words.
like specializing in
By
like
the way, this sucker
January
means it.
6th PTSD
No, I'm not
treatment.
joking.
Like if
Yeah,
you
you
market
could
that.
advertise that.
Anybody else said
Advertise
that
it
in the past, you think
online,
he's
like
crazy,
if
he's
you
crazy,
are
but
still
you think
having
he's an
recurring
exaggeration, but
nightmares
he
and
means
intrusive thoughts about January 6th,
can't let
here's a
that happen.
program that can help you cope.
Yeah,
you know who
absolutely.
should sell? We should do ads for that
All
on
of
Rumble.
them.
If Chuck Norris can
Very
have
special
a
obligation.
fitness protocol,
Independents,
we
Republicans,
should
Democrats.
say self-help
We
for
saved democracy in
PTSD
2020,
January 6th
and now we
lives.
must save it again
yeah.
in 2024.
Yeah, we were
could
born
talk
to
you
be
through it.
charlatans.
Yeah, we can talk you.
We'd
through
be
it.
very good at that.
We would be great at it. You could charge top dollar because everyone who's traumatized by January 6th is rich. I guarantee you no working class or poor person is traumatized by January 6th. Everyone who needs help getting over the psychological trauma of January 6th has the money to pay for that kind of help.
History's in your hands.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great
Not
idea.
hyperbole. It's in your hands.
I think it
America's
is. It's a
future's
$1
in
million
your hands.
idea, you could say.
Or you know what we could do? We could just
Because
market
of
these
the-
supplements
because
as
you know,
January
offering
6th
that kind of-
Nowhere else
recovery.
in the world.
We could just you sell a pill and say this
For the
helps
kid
you
with
get
the
over
stutter.
January
Modest
6th.
beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Claim
That's
on
an
Delaware.
idea. Why don't we pitch it to the
Grow up, sit
supplement
behind the
company and we'll
Red
kill
Bull
two birds with one stone? Sell this to libs as a cure for January 6th.
Cure for
anxiety.
January 6th
That's because
PTSD.
America is
Yeah, exactly. This way
always
you don't
has
have
been
to talk them through
a
it.
nation of
Like $80 a bottle.
possibilities.
Sugar pill.
We must
So
never
helps you
lose that.
process January
Never.
6th.
Calmer
Yeah,
and calmer
January 6th is
This nation must continue to be a place of possibility.
it's something
Not
you
just for
have
the
to
few of us,
have
but for all
enough
of us.
privilege
Join me.
to obsess on in that way,
promise you your
and to
whole
not
heart to
understand that it's an outgrowth of
My
where the
heart will
country
be.
is,
Right.
I promise I'll be the best
which
volunteer.
is largely a result
Harrison
of the
Walsh
policies
and
of
Cam
people
ever
like Joe
seen.
Biden over the course of his career.
Yeah. I still think my
Each of us.
nickname
This
for
whole
January
thing-
6th was
this
the
whole
best. I
thing is
called it
just
Deplorapalooza.
American story. For me and my family, there's a song that means a lot to us. It captures the best of who we are as a nation. The song is called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, and I can't sing worth a damn, so I'm not going to try. I'll just quote it. The work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall our legacy be? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart,
I was going to say, I like a little bit of chicken fried.
America, America, I gave my best
Song was
to you.
written by the Big Bopper. You may have heard it. It goes, "You're 16, you're beautiful, and you're mine."
I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return for the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this in the bottom, give you my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it.
How many shell corporations did your brother set up to
Folks.
funnel all your ill-gotten gains?
We just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing we cannot do when we do it together. God bless you all.
Thank you.
And may God protect our troops.
Beautiful. All right. Oh, God. All right. Very good. Very good, as my
Hit your
grandfather would
ass on the
say.
way out, cracker.
As my grandfather would say, very good. Joe Biden's been good at saying other people's words. It's his own he has problems with. Hey, man. Yo, that guy, was it 1220? Damn. Is he saying Kamala the anti-racist way? I've always said Kamala the anti-racist way. I'm very sophisticated in that way. I just intuitively got her name right. That's where I'm sitting where I am.
I thought Kamala was the Indian pronunciation.
You mean Kamala?
I thought it was Kamala.
I don't know. I always guess Kamala.
Kumala.
Kumala. Russ, you could stop yourself, but I won't. All right. Yeah, no. Well, we can't. Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah, I was already pushing it with the Big Bopper lyric, but since it is a real lyric to a very famous song, I figured I'd get away with it.
Biden Feinstein 2028. Thank you. I don't think there's any evidence there, by the way. I just don't. I mean, there's no evidence there. All right. Let's see. 2738 in the YouTube chat. 1367 on the Rumble chat. Folks, thank you very much for a great evening. Appreciate you all very much. We will see you tomorrow. So it looks like tomorrow we got the patron stream. So if you want to join our Patreon, that helps us.
I mean,
tremendously.
Look, this night's work was not like mining coal, but it was close.
It was close. I mean, yeah, it was
pretty close.
It was pretty close. It was a long day. 2 4-hour streams today. 8 hours on the air today. Yeah. That's a lot. So yeah, if you want to join tomorrow, the Pizza Summit at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central with Kit Cabello, and then we are on at 7 p.m. Eastern for Workers Strike Back. That will be a Rumble exclusive as well. So we are on Rumble tomorrow, both shows. So join our Substack. You can join our Substack. It's free. Join our newsletter. You will get a link to both shows. If you're a paid member, you'll get a link to the first show if you and the second show. And if you are a free subscriber, you will get the link to the 7 p.m. Show, which will be a live stream of the Workers Strike Back rally with Jill Stein, Nick Cruz, and Shama Sawant. And I'm assuming they'll have some other speakers there as well. So that'll be fun. Folks, thank you very much for this evening. We appreciate you all. Thank you. We will see you guys. Yes, remind me of Pink Floyd's The Wall film, but not as cool. Thank you. Kill your egregores. Appreciate that. All righty. What's that?
I brought the striker over here, and now I can't find him. Well, okay then. Yeah. I'll work it out.
All righty, folks. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys very much for being here. Appreciate the Rumble chatters. Appreciate the YouTube chatters. We will see you tomorrow. Join our newsletter, and we will see paid members for a members-only show, 2 p.m. Eastern. Everybody else will see you 7 p.m. Eastern. Rumble exclusively tomorrow. We'll have some clips up on the YouTube channel, but the streams will be Rumble only tomorrow. Thank you guys very much for being here. Appreciate you all. Until we see you tomorrow, be safe and be well.
Courage.
Please clap.